season. Here's a look at the AFC playoff picture. If the playoffs started today, the Indianapolis Colts are in. If they win their final 3 games, they're definitely into the playoff field. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Donovan. Happy to be with John Dockery today. A lot of motivation for these Indianapolis Colts. But, John, a special amount of motivation for Craig Erickson. He's back in as the starting quarterback for the Colts for the injured Jim Harbaugh.
You know, Jim, you mentioned motivation. I look at football players late in a long season, kind of like actors. They're always asking, hey, what's my motivation? Well, for the Colts today, Erickson has a twofold motivation. One, to keep the Colts in the playoff hunt. And two, for some redemption. He actually started the season as the Colts quarterback, was 0-2. Actually had 4 interceptions in those first 2 games. Harbaugh came in, has had an incredible year. And Harbaugh last week was injured, had arthroscopic surgery on Monday, was in the hospital till Wednesday, came out, was on crutches Thursday, took some snaps on Friday, spoke to him moments ago, and he said he would be available as a backup quarterback. An incredible recovery for Jim Harbaugh.
And, John, that's why they call him Captain Comeback this year in Indianapolis. He's done it all for them. Now on the Jacksonville side, they've lost 5 games in a row, but they get a nice boost today. Mark Brunell is set to start at quarterback.
Mark Brunell is the man who makes it happen for the Jacksonville Jaguars. You look at him, number 8, left-handed, incredible athletic ability, a terrific scrambler. Reminds you of a young Steve Young. But the problem is that Brunell has been out for 2 weeks with a hamstring, Jim, and he's a quarterback who does it as much with his feet and his legs as with his arm. So the question today, he's at about 85%. Will he be as effective as he might be for Jacksonville?
So Jacksonville will go with Mark Brunell, and Tom Coughlin said he noticed a real burst inside the Jacksonville huddle during practice this week once it was announced that Brunell was fit and ready to play. Over on the other sideline, head coach Ted Marchibroda, he must put the loss to Carolina behind his team right away because they have to forget what happened last weekend in Clemson, South Carolina, and they need victories. He told them just forget it.
Ted Marchibroda and the Colts lost a golden opportunity last week because both the Raiders lost to Kansas City and Buffalo lost to San Francisco. They could have moved into a first-place tie. They didn't. They missed an opportunity. They don't want to do it again here today.
Mike Collis kicks it away. Ball comes down to Aaron Bailey. He takes it at the 5-yard line and gets a seam. He's out to the 40, and Bailey has got one man to beat. It's the kicker, Hollis. He gets by him. Aaron Bailey is going the distance. Touchdown, Indianapolis.
What can you say about it beginning? We talked about motivation moments ago, and then you see what motivation can do. Colts, this is a must-win game. 3 games, they go to the playoffs, and Aaron Bailey takes the opening kickoff, finds a seam, and he's gone to put the Colts ahead. A 95-yard touchdown return by Aaron Bailey.
And Jacksonville, which has been an exceptional team special teams-wise, they scored 2 touchdowns on special teams last week, gives up a 95-yard kickoff return. That's Larry Pasquale, the special teams coach. And there's your hero for the Indianapolis Colts, Aaron Bailey. Blanchard in for the extra point. Welcome to Jacksonville, and the Colts go up 7-0 just 15 seconds into the game.
And you can hear the silence in this stadium. Jacksonville was excited about this game, hoping to get their 4th victory, but the Colts need it badly. And take a look at Aaron Bailey, 2nd year out of Louisville, free agent, showing terrific speed, great blocking, finds a hole, and then just has one man to beat the kicker. It's no contest, 95 yards, touchdown. Look at the swan dive at the end.
Beautiful dive at the end, John. I'll tell you, it seems like the big block is going to come up here. First of all, I thought the kickoff was a little bit too much of a line drive, and it didn't give the chase team an opportunity to get down. But 32, Zach Crockett will seal it off right there in the middle.
Crockett gets a good block, and as you mentioned, the kick was a little bit short. Came down about the 5-yard line. He got it in a hurry. It allowed his blockers to form, and Bailey did the rest.
95-yard kickoff return, first in his career, 7-0 Indianapolis. And Ted Marchibroda and all of the Colts who met with us last night said they were ready for this game.
And they're showing it right now. This is a dream for Ted Marchibroda because he's got Erickson coming in for Harbaugh. Harbaugh is the backup quarterback. He wants to get out in front, as he's done with that kickoff return, and let Harbaugh rest his arthroscopic surgery knee for 1 more week. Sure, and he wants Erickson to have an easy day of it where he gets on top. That's just what Marchibroda was hoping for.
7-0 Indianapolis. And we'll kick again. This time, the Colts to the Jaguars, who are explosive on kickoffs themselves. First, Dockery had the ball blow off the tee, and right now, Tom Coughlin, a guy who doesn't like mistakes. You can see over there what a shocker to his team. Back deep, Desmond Howard and LaShawn Maston for the Jaguars, and someone might have to hold on to this ball. And I believe Derwin Gray will come over. Damon Watts will have to come over and hold the ball upright for Dockery as it keeps blowing off the tee.
You look at Indianapolis, we talk about them needing a win. They need a win today. They come in at 7-6, and they're in the battle for the playoffs.
Desmond Howard at the 15, doubles it. And he brings it out near the 35-yard line, and that's where Jacksonville will start, already behind in the game, 7-0. Mark Brunell injured his hamstring a couple of weeks ago, and now he's back in there. Here's the starting offensive lineup. They have built this team with 2 rookie bookends at the tackles, and it's really worked. Boselli and DeMarco are really improving fast, and that's the foundation of the offensive line. In the backfield, James Stewart, the rookie out of Tennessee at running back, has come on the last couple of weeks. And then on third down passing situations, when they go to their 3 wide, they'll bring in Cedric Tillman as the slot receiver, and a rookie tight end, Pete Mitchell, who comes into the game with 32 catches out of Boston College. Brunell on play action. This is what he does. He gets away from Bernard Whittington and gingerly runs up to the 40-yard line and out of bounds, and he'll pick up close to 6 yards. Tony McCoy chases him out of bounds, but you could see that he's watching that hamstring. Let's take a look at the Indianapolis Colts starting defensive lineup. The front 4, look out for Tony Bennett. He'll be matched up against Tony Boselli. He has 9.5 sacks on the season. And then in the backfield, Stephen Grant with Harrod and Coriat, Buchanan, Daniel, Tate, and Belzer. Very efficient secondary. And then their nickel package, Ashley Ambrose, will come in. It is 2nd down and 4 for Jacksonville. And the give goes to Stewart. And Jeff Harrod gets him at the 40-yard line as he chases him down.
Just a couple of comments. You saw in the first play, Brunell back to pass and then doing what he does best, scramble. But you also saw at the end of the play where he pulled up a little bit. His hamstring is not 100%. He's been out for 2 weeks. There's concern about it. As a matter of fact, in practice the other day, they put in a play. They told him to run at about half speed. He didn't, and he felt a little twinge on Thursday. So they're concerned about his hamstring.
3 wide receiver set now on 3rd down and 3 for a Jacksonville first down just over their own 40. They trail 7-0 in the game to the Colts. The Colts break the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Brunell throws and slips it in there to Pete Mitchell, and he makes the catch at the 46-yard line, wrapped up by 2 Colts linebackers as it's Harrod and actually the safety Belzer comes over there, but a first down.
The best receiver on this football team is number 83, Pete Mitchell. He's got terrific hands. He's not the fastest, not the biggest, but he catches the ball and finds the hole in the zone of the Colts for that catch and a first down.
The Jaguars, their own 46.
At the 46, first down for Mark Brunell and Jacksonville. Short drop. Looks, he's got a man open. Desmond Howard leaps in the air, but he cannot come down with it. David Tate is over on the coverage. There's a flag down on the play as Howard went up in the air, and we'll wait on the call. Howard not getting up to either, John.
I know he's down on the ground, Desmond Howard is, and that flag came in late. We'll have to wait to see what it was, but if you look at the play, David Tate was late to safety. The ball was well thrown. It was catchable, it appeared to be.
And we'll go against the secondary of the Colts. Our referee is Mike Carey, and we attend to Desmond Howard stretched out over on the Indianapolis sideline. Here's the call.
Personal foul on the defense, number 49. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it's a big one.
Situation there, Jim, was simply this. They were in a double-double zone. They had a short zone. Tate was responsible for the zone, deep zone. He got there a little bit late. Brunell did what you have to do. He threw the ball on a line, and it appears as though Howard had a shot to catch it. He definitely did. And then, see him going to the head, Tate? That's the call. He went high on Howard to the head.
And we'll be back, 7-0 Indianapolis. This is the NFL on NBC. Back here in Jacksonville, Indianapolis leads over the Jacksonville Jaguars. 7-0 the score as Aaron Bailey took the opening kickoff, 95 yards per score. They continued to check out Desmond Howard, who went up and was hit then after he could not hold on to the pass by David Tate, the safety, and went down. The penalty was called for a personal foul, 15 yards, but since getting knocked down, Howard has not gotten back up.
And you know, Jim, if you look at the replay of this, you see how far away Tate is. He had plenty of time. He saw the ball was not caught, and he went right helmet to helmet. That's a no-no. And the NFL is very sensitive to it, and they're right. This is how players get injured.
It's good to see Desmond Howard back up and talking to the Jacksonville trainers. Boy, it's been quite a week, quite a stretch for Jacksonville. Head coach Tom Coughlin, long known now in his first year as a head coach in the NFL, is a no-nonsense guy. But this week, what a message he delivered to his floundering Jaguars. He cut two popular veterans, Ernest Givens and James Williams, with just 3 weeks to go.
If you want to stay, you better play as part of the message. Yes, he wants to get other younger players in and take a look at them, but James Williams was a linebacker who had 2 interceptions last 2 games. Ernest Givens was a relatively productive receiver, nothing special, not like the old days of Ernest Givens, but he wanted to give Desmond Howard a shot at starting. He was starting as he's coming off the field right now. Desmond Howard is. So with Ernest Givens gone and Desmond Howard coming off the field, a little light at wide receiver. But yeah, he wants to send the message. You better keep playing or you won't be here.
Willie Jackson comes in at wide receiver to replace Desmond Howard, who walks over to the Jaguar bench. Now it's first down after the 15-yard penalty at the Colts 39-yard line, and Brunell is marching the Jaguars on their first possession of the day. The fake to Stewart. The pass is caught. It's Jimmy Smith. He's down inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line, and it will be first and goal for the Jags.
Interesting throw to Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith, of course, last week had an incredible day with 3 touchdowns. This time, he just goes down and does a deep hook pattern. Ray Buchanan, number 34, is actually with them on the inside. The ball is well thrown out on the outside. You saw Buchanan slip, and that allowed Smith to make the receptions. Good comeback drive after being shot on a 95-yard kickoff return. Jacksonville showing poise, coming back, surprising for a 3-10 team.
Now they are very good inside the red zone, especially with this kid at quarterback, Mark Brunell, because of the scrambling ability. And on first down, James Stewart hits to the 5, down inside to the 3-yard line. It will be second and goal from the 3.
And James Stewart is a guy that has come on for Jacksonville. He was their #1 pick out of Tennessee, a spectacular back. They were concerned because he was sluggish. He seemed tentative earlier in the year, but the last few games, he has come on very strong for Jacksonville, and they think he's going to be an impact player.
Ball at the 3-yard line. Indianapolis leading 7-0. What a start to this ballgame. Opening kickoff goes 95 yards for a touchdown. And there you see Brunell in the red zone. Very, very good. 10 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And remember, he can run. A blitz coming from Coriat on the outside, and they sneak up and get him on the inside then and sack him back at the 9-yard line. Siragusa was there to get in there, but it was Coriat coming from the corner.
And they will do those kinds of blitzes. It was Coriat on the outside, and as you mentioned, Siragusa, all 6'3", 315 pounds of lumbering mass, just engulfing Mark Brunell. Had no time to throw the ball.
And I think that's the way Tony would like to be known, as lumbering mass.
Tony, no offense. Great play. Sack.
Drops them back just inside the 10. It's third down and goal now for Mark Brunell. Lachey Maston is in the backfield, the lone blocking back. Brunell has the ball deflected. It's tipped in the air and falls incomplete at the 5-yard line. Everybody going for that one. Belzer was there, as it was intended for Cedric Tillman.
If Mark Brunell does not get his throwing lanes, he'll have trouble. He's not the biggest quarterback. He's only 6 feet tall. He's about 215 pounds. That time the ball was tipped. He needs lanes. He needs his offensive linemen to keep those defensive linemen's hands down. You take a look at it here. The last moment, it looked like number 62, Ellis Johnson, got his hands up, knocked the ball off.
The rookie out of the University of Florida. Got his hand on the ball. Mike Hollis to try and get the Jags on the board. And it is blocked. The field goal is blocked, and it might have been Siragusa that got up and batted it down. What a turnaround it was. And it remains 7-0, the Colts in the lead.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Buick, makers of the concept car you can drive, the 1995 Riviera. By De Beers, a diamond is forever. By Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo, it works. And by Black & Decker, it's how things get done.
Here we go as we are back in Jacksonville. We get set for Craig Erickson's reappearance as the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts, and he gives the ball off, and it goes to Marshall Faulk, and Faulk carries out near the 27-yard line. Let's go back to the play that sets all of this up, a blocked 27-yard field goal.
If you watch the middle of your screen, you'll see the double team, and Saragusa up the middle, number 98, gets a hand on it, but it was really Ellis Johnson, all 300 pounds of him, and Saragusa, 315, working on the center, Dave Weidel.
Saragusa getting worked on up by his jawbone there. He's had a good start, a sack, and a blocked field goal. And it is 2nd down and 3 for the Colts. 7 yards on 1st down for Marshall Faulk, who should go over 1,000 today. And will probably go over 1,000 pretty quickly if he keeps running like that. He's out near a 1st down. Let's meet the Colts offense here today, as we get a chance to see them on the offensive line. A dirty word around this offensive line this week was blitz, because they gave up 7 sacks last week in Carolina. In the backfield, Erickson starts with Faulk and Potts. Potts a big part of the running game, blocking. And the real good surprise has been the tight end Ken Dilger, the rookie out of Illinois. And in the 3 wide set, Aaron Bailey comes in. He's already had a big part today with a 95-yard kickoff return on the game's opening kick. 1st down for the Colts on 2 Faulk running plays, and he'll now come out of the backfield in motion. The pass across the middle is tipped. Harry Coley comes up with it. They rule it incomplete. They say the ball hit the ground. Travis Davis was there. It was intended for Dilger, the tight end, John. He wasn't even looking.
Erickson making his first start in almost 2 months. He hasn't taken a snap with the first team before this week for a month. That time it was timing. Dilger is running the seam pattern, doesn't look back. Erickson throws him the ball, and take a look. It's almost intercepted. But that's just timing between quarterback and receiver. See the tight end? Never looked back.
And Travis Davis then deflected the ball up and hit the ground. Harry Coley looked as though he might have intercepted, but it was ruled incomplete. 2nd and 10. This is Faulk, and he has room to the outside. And he'll push it for 4, maybe 5 yards out near the 35. Marshall Faulk came into today just needing 43 yards rushing to come up with 1,000 for the season.
Look at those numbers. 1,000, he's heading for 1,000. But look at the number of receptions, 50 receptions. So he's really that multi-purpose back you need these days in the NFL. Comes out of the backfield, catches the ball, makes things happen.
He said to you yesterday, well, last year they didn't have a clue on how to stop him. Some people are coming up with some pretty good efforts. It is 3rd down and 5, and this is his 2nd year. Shotgun for Erickson for the 1st time today. And 3 wide receivers in. He could run for it, and a lot more. 1st down as he does a head-first slide up near his 49-yard line, and a wise decision by Erickson. Let's meet the Jags defense that gets pitched right there for a 1st down as they left a gaping hole up the middle. No pass rush so far this season. None to be found, so they'll look for some pressure right there with the front 4. The linebackers have been pretty active because they've been forced to really do a lot of work. Ogania, Schwartz, and Smingy's playing the linebacker now. Started the year as a defensive end. And then in passing situations in their nickel package, they'll bring in Dave Thomas. It's a 1st down, though. The ball is square at the 50-yard line. 7-0 Indianapolis. 8:15 to go here in the 1st quarter. Erickson gives to Marshall Faulk, and Faulk will get about a yard to the 49-yard line and then push back as it's Gogadius and Pritchard in on the tackle.
I think the Colts today, despite what Ted Monterotta said to us last night, are going to use Faulk. They're going to give him the ball. He's going to have 25 to 30 touches, whether it's out of the backfield as a pass receiver or else carrying the ball, and let him win the game. They don't want Erickson to have to win the game. This is his first start in a long time for Jim Harbaugh, who has done it all year for the Colts. So I think it's Faulk. I think it's Erickson not losing the game for the Colts.
Second down and 9 as you saw the scores go by for the first time here today. Buffalo and St. Louis for you Indy fans. That's the game to watch. The Colts trail the Bills by a game in the AFC East. The ball thrown to Roosevelt Potts. About hip high, and he couldn't come up with it. But again, the timing looked to be a bit off.
Timing's a little bit off. The pass could have had a little more touch on it, although it was catchable. Potts, not a bad receiver out of the backfield. Big man, 6 feet, 260 pounds. But as you take a look at it, the touch, it could have been a little softer. He threw it a little hard, and as you mentioned, timing. It's out in front, tries to pull it in with one hand, can't do it.
Now a third down and 9 for Indianapolis. Erickson out of the backfield. Lamont Warren makes the catch, runs, first down inside the Jacksonville 40 as he broke a tackle by Dave Thomas and gets down inside the 40 for a first down to the 37.
They come back with basically the same play with different personnel. Potts dropped the pass before. Lamont Warren, second year out of Colorado, you'll see him here, just slips out to the right side. The ball is well thrown, and then he makes a nice move downfield on Dave Thomas to pick up the first down.
But again, John, no pressure.
No
Erickson
pressure.
had a lot of time back there.
Hey, this is a team that has only 11 sacks the entire year.
Incredible. First and 10, ball inside the Jacksonville 40 at the 37. The give goes to Roosevelt Potts, and he finds a hole. He gets a block from a couple of his wide receivers and gets inside the 30 for another Colt first down to the 26. Smengi chases the play downfield and makes the tackle.
And they really have a 1-2 punch. They have Marshall Faulk, who's a very special back. And Potts, you know, at 260 pounds is really a load, but also has some pretty nifty feet. You see him spin there for some extra yards. So it's really a 1-2 punch in the running game for the Colts.
Another first down at the 26. Now the sweep goes to Faulk. He breaks it, 15, inside the 10, near the 7, pushed out of bounds by Harry Colin. It's first and goal, Colts, and they're driving again.
You know, when you watch Marshall Faulk on that sweep, shades of Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders, the guys that just seem to get something when there's nothing there. He's a simple pitch around the right side, Potts leaving, and then he just kind of squeezes through when it looked like people had a shot. He's a very quick back, and he's hard as a defender. It's hard because he's got that extra burst.
All right, he came in needing 43 for 1,000. He has 27 already on 5 carries. He's 16 away from 1,000 on the season. And the Colts are first and goal. Potts will get the carry. Hit at the 6 and drop. It's Don Davey coming in from the left defensive end spot. If they decided to go running game, they really have a nice combo there with Potts, the big fullback, and Faulk, the big everything. I mean, he can do it all.
And they have a pretty good left side of their offensive line where they like to run behind Wolford. You remember Wolford at Buffalo. He's here. He's 300 pounds. That's where they generally like to go, especially when they get down in close.
They'll give it to Faulk. He'll get nailed. He ran right into Kelvin Pritchett, who is coming and surging, and drops him for a loss.
Great surge by Kelvin Pritchett. Penetration stops any running game. And as we take a look at Kelvin Pritchett, watch him come up the middle. Faulk has no shot to get going. Pritchett is right there. Nobody blocked him.
Loss of 3 on the play. Third down and goal. As Kelvin Pritchett comes in and makes the big defensive play, and the best defensive play so far in this game for Jacksonville. Third and goal. The ball is out near the 10. 13th play of the drive. Erickson, he'll throw it away. Looking in the end zone for a flag, and Aaron Bailey was knocked down at the goal line. They took too much time on the play anyway.
Still third down.
And that's a new quarterback and getting the play in and a loud crowd.
Yeah, and he was also looking in the end zone for Bailey, but also Sean Dawkins was down there, appeared to slip. So actually, in a way, they get another shot at it. It's not a bad situation for the Colts, even though they lose 5.
Lindy and Fondy spent a lot of time with Erickson, and then spent a lot of time, as Jim Harbaugh told you, John, just moments before the game with him, because he had to do a cram session to get Harbaugh ready, because Initially, at the start of the week, they didn't think he'd be able to play at all after having knee surgery. 3rd and goal. The ball back at the 15. To the middle. He's got a man open. Touchdown. And it's Aaron Bailey again. This kid's taking a kickoff return for a touchdown and now catches one from Erickson.
It's one of the few times where you'll see a penalty actually helping a team. The Colts this time had 3 wide receivers, Jim. Good job of reading by Craig Erickson. Not a lot of pressure, had time, and he finds Bailey streaking across the middle on the post pattern for the touchdown.
What does that do for his confidence?
Huge confidence. You heard him say last night, we said, well, what kind of a day? You haven't played in a long time. He said, well, I'm not sure that I'm going to have a great performance. He was kind of tentative in the meeting, so that's a huge confidence builder.
Extra point attempt now for the Colts. Gary Blanchard's kick is good, and Indianapolis is where they want to be. With 3 minutes and 38 seconds left to go. Aaron Bailey is having a tremendous day, and they lead it by a score of 14-0. He has scored 2 touchdowns on a kickoff return and a 14-yard reception. We'll be right back. Aaron Bailey of the Indianapolis Colts has 2 touchdowns. The Colts lead 14-0. This is Jimmy Smith. Takes it near the sideline at the 5. To the 26. Let's go back to the touchdown, which was a beautiful throw by Erickson to Aaron Bailey.
And reasonable protection allowed him to get this ball off over the middle. They flooded the right side against that zone. Bailey comes across. No one covered him. Touchdown.
We'll be right back. Here from Jacksonville, Colts in the lead. And this is the NFL on NBC. Back at Jacksonville's Municipal Stadium, it's been a bad start for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Desmond Howard went out on the first series on that hit right there by David Tate. He has a concussion and will not be back, John.
And that's the report we got. David Tate was penalized 15 yards for that. Helmet to helmet. He had time to stop and pull up and do something else. He did not.
Mark Brunell drove the Jaguars on their first possession all the way down to a goal-to-goal situation. They then set up for a field goal when they couldn't score, and it was blocked. They've had a rough start. In the pocket and complete. Pete Mitchell. He really is a good tight end. He's got those meat hooks for hands, and he's brought down by Quentin Coriac. Kevin Gilbride said yesterday it's just, he just doesn't fit the role. He hasn't got speed, not a good blocker, but he does this well.
He certainly does. He won't be an everyday tight end in the NFL. He's not big enough. He's only 6'2", about 238 pounds, but he is a keeper because of the hands and the ability. Some receivers just have an instinct and can find the open spots. Pete Mitchell is that.
7 yards that first down. 2nd and 3. Stewart gets upended by the Colts defense as Tony McCoy comes in there and submarines him along with Jeff Harrod. Harrod, the leading tackler for the Indianapolis Colts for yet another season. And a guy that really took the loss last week in Carolina to heart. I mean, he took it very personally. Doesn't want to be deprived of an opportunity to get to the playoffs. He's never been to the playoffs with the Colts.
He's been around through some dismal years, Jeff Harrod. He's 8 years in the league, and he knows the bad times, and he also knows an opportunity when he sees one. And this is an opportunity for the Colts to make the playoffs for the first time since 1987.
Now it is 3rd down and 1. Stewart gets off a hit. Devon McDonald had him, and he goes out over the 35, and I think his forward progress will give him the first down near the 37-yard line. Tate and Belzer come up from the secondary, and both safeties to make the tackle. McDonald had him short of the first down, but couldn't hang on.
Hey, there was good penetration, but he made a move. He seems pretty nifty for a big back at 6'1", 225 pounds, and he's a physical player and starting to come into his own. Modest goals coming in as a #1 pick. Hope to gain 500 yards in his first season. He's not far off that.
He is the team's leading rusher. Brunell, and another ball deflected. 2nd of the afternoon. There's a flag down. So we'll check and see. Quentin Coriac says the penalty is going against Jacksonville. Holding against the Jaguars is going to be the call, and Tom Coughlin says yes, another mistake. And Ted Marchibroda says mark it off, boys.
holding. On the offense, number 35. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Lachey Maston, the fullback, will get hit with the penalty. And that will march them back inside their 30, back to the 27-yard line.
Jacksonville offense is trying to use some maximum protection and using the fullback to help on the pass blocking. They've been a horrendous team protecting the quarterback. When you look at the number of sacks they have, they're the highest sack giver in the NFL. 51 sacks given up by Jacksonville.
So it becomes first down and 20. And they'll run a draw. It's Stewart. He dives out over the 30 with a nice burst to the 33. Let's go to New York right now and check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, it's St. Louis. After the Bills jumped on top, the Rams have come back with 10 unanswered points. Mark Rippon to Todd Kinchin, 6 yards and a touchdown. And then a Dean Biasucci field goal has the Rams on top of the Buffalo Bills, 10-7 in the first. Jim?
Greg, you're making fans in Indianapolis dance right now because there's numbers. 14-0, the Colts in the lead. Added up with the numbers you just gave us, St. Louis in the lead over Buffalo has the AFC East up for grabs right now. Mark Brunell going to go long, give it a shot. It's complete. A lot of pushing and shoving, but the ball is caught by Willie Jackson down at the 22-yard line. He goes into the end zone. Definitely Jacksonville's going to argue a little bit that he wasn't brought down by contact, and that's what Pete Mitchell is down there questioning, but it will be a first down at the 22. That is going to do it for what has been a wide open first quarter of play. Jacksonville trails Indianapolis by a score of 14-0, and you're watching the NFL on NBC. Getting set for the start of the second quarter. Indianapolis leads 14-0. Here was the last play of quarter number 1.
Mark Brunell had enough time to get rid of this ball. He's unmolested there, and they're actually working on the old man, Eugene McDaniel, at the corner. And take a look at here. It looked as though Willie Jackson might have pushed Daniel a little bit. Daniel, surprising to see a veteran defensive back get turned around, gets his feet caught, slips down. And they say he was down by contact, Jackson. That's why the ball is placed where it is.
Jackson's the leading receiver for the Jaguars this year. He has 43 catches now. First down at the Indy 21-yard line. James Stewart gets the carry. He's inside the 20 to the 18 where Siragusa wraps him up.
Play was handled by number 33.
Just to recap what's gone on here so far. Opening kickoff of the game. Aaron Bailey 95 yards for a touchdown. 7-0 Indianapolis. Jaguars drive and get first and goal at the 6, but they can't do anything with it. They try a field goal. It was blocked by Siragusa. And then Indianapolis goes right down the field, 80 yards for a touchdown. The last 14 covered on a touchdown pass from Craig Erickson to Aaron Bailey. 2 touchdowns for number 80. And it's second down and 7 now for the Jaguars inside the Indianapolis 20. Draw play. It's working well. He gets a nice block from Baselli, and it's James Stewart, and he's near a first down.
James Stewart again, and obviously he's going to be the workhorse for the Jacksonville offense. A little surprising to see the defense in the NFL ranked 2 being moved. Watch Baselli. All right, this is a key matchup. Number 71 right there doing a good job on Tony Bennett, number 56, the leading sacker for the Baltimore Colts with 9.5. And that's a key matchup today.
So the ball is at the 12-yard line. It will be first down for Jacksonville. Baselli in his rookie year, top draft choice. First draft choice ever by the Jaguars out of Southern Cal. Mitchell was going in motion. Brunell looked up, saw the play clock winding down, and he needs a timeout. We need a timeout too. Indianapolis 14-0 over Jacksonville. Back in a moment. Say next Saturday following the Steelers-Patriots game, NBC Sports presents the Lexus Challenge hosted by Raymond Floyd. Celebrities William Devane, Clint Eastwood, NBC's own Brian Gumbel, and others pair up with golf's biggest names like Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, and Raymond Floyd in the game's newest event, the Lexus Challenge, next Saturday right here on NBC.
I understand Batman will not be at the Lexus Challenge, but that Robin will be. Chris O'Donnell, I think, will be there. Scent of a Woman, Batman Forever. BC graduate, by the way, so next week, the Lexus Challenge on NBC.
First down for Jacksonville after the timeout called by Mark Brunell. The ball is at the 12-yard line of Indianapolis. Jaguars down by 2 touchdowns. Here's Stewart to the outside. Cut back to the inside. Inside the 10, down to the 7-yard line. He really is running with a lot more confidence than I have seen him run with since he's joined this team. He really is a different running back.
And if you take a look at the blocking in front of him, he gets some good blocking on the right side by DeMarco and Coleman. And Mitchell, look at Mitchell, not noted for his blocking.
They said this guy couldn't block.
Exactly.
He took on Devon McDonald and did a nice job. It's at the 6. Second down. They can get a first down. They can get it down at the 2-yard line. They go back to Stewart. He's inside the 5. Touchdown! James Stewart goes in for the score, and Jacksonville comes right back and marches on Ted Marchabrona and the Colts. And look at Tom Coughlin getting them fired up over there on the sideline.
And there's one thing you can say about a Tom Coughlin team, and I watched him when he coached BC. There's no quit in his teams, and they've shown it here, down 14-0. A little demoralized, come back on a good drive.
Oh, because they had a terrible start. I mean, giving up the opening kickoff for a touchdown, having a blocked field goal. Hollis, the extra point is good. And this is a ball game again. It is 14-7. The Colts in the lead over Jacksonville as James Stewart takes it in for the score.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer. We are driving excitement. By Contact, its tiny time pills give you 12 hours of congestion relief. By Gillette Sensor XL and the Gillette Series. Gillette, the best a man can get. And by Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time.
Welcome back to Jacksonville, everybody, as the Jaguars are back in the ballgame. They trail Indianapolis 14-7. James Stewart goes in for a touchdown to get them back in the ballgame. Hollis's kick. Aaron Bailey, who already took the opening kickoff 95 yards for a score, finds a hole again to the sideline and runs out of bounds into the Jacksonville bench at the 46-yard line.
Aaron Bailey returns Mike Hollis's kick.
He is giving them incredible field position. Of course, on the opening kickoff, he took them all away.
Well, he has that great speed and great maneuverability and the vision that all good return men have. See this cut here, and then he breaks to the outside after setting up a defender. A terrific return, Aaron Bailey, after a 95-yard touchdown return opening kickoff. So what a day he's having.
Terrific field position now for Indianapolis. At their own 46-yard line, Craig Erickson, who took them 80 yards for a touchdown pass to Aaron Bailey on their first possession, is in now. His second possession of the game, out into the flat. Ball is caught by Marshall Folk. He's to midfield. With a lot of moves and dances around, he goes to the 50-yard line. All right, well, last year, Marshall Folk became the 4th player in Colts history to rush for 1,000 yards in a season. This 45-yard burst for a score late in the first quarter against the Seattle Seahawks put him over 1,000 yards in his 94 rookie season. And he is close to going over 1,000 rushing in this season, his second year. On the 14th week of the NFL's regular season, he should do it today. Ball is at midfield after his catch and run for 4 yards. Second down at 6. Folk slipped in the backfield getting the ball, and he'll actually be dumped for about a 2-yard loss. And actually, John, now that's 2 consecutive running plays. The last 2 times he's tried to run the ball, he's been dumped for losses. Both times hit by 94 Pritchett.
He just didn't get a chance. I mean, they came with the blitz, Jacksonville did. They're clogging up the holes with a run blitz, so there's no area to run. Too much penetration. Falk had no shot.
Pritchett's had Falk's number twice now as he's dumped him for losses on 2 consecutive running plays. Third down and long for Indianapolis. 3rd and 8. Across the middle, it's broken up. A nice play by Mike Dumas. Colts must punt. Johnny really tried to squeeze that one in there.
He certainly did, and Jacksonville came with their nickel package. Dumas was in the game. Makes a good diving play to knock that ball down. Take a look at this. Erickson had some time after the throw. He gets knocked back, but kind of a kind thing because it was done with the arms and the hands, not the helmet.
Boy, Don Davey was the man that delivered the blow to Erickson. Dockery to punt. He almost got that. Cedric Tillman is back, but he won't get near that one, and it actually takes a Jacksonville low over the 22-yard line. And the Jaguars have a little life here now this afternoon. 14-7 Indianapolis. This is the NFL on NBC. 11 minutes and 3 seconds to go here in the first half. A beautiful day here in Jacksonville. Although the fans here probably feel it's a bit of a cold snap for them. Temperature in the 50s. Yeah. For John and I, it's vacation time.
Tropical.
Yeah, 22-yard line is the starting position for Jacksonville after a 30-yard Chris Dockery punt. Brunell finds his man open. The tight end could not hold on. It's Griffith out by the 38-yard line. And that was right in his hands.
Very little production out of the tight end position except for Pete Mitchell. Griffith, better blocker than he is a receiver. That time he just fought the ball. You can see him fight the ball. Take a look here. Number 85 downfield. He gets time, and then Brunell gets it right to him. Catchable ball. Brunell makes a little time for himself, though, by moving around. He has that escapability, that great mobility.
Just before he tore the hamstring muscle, he would have been off and running on that play there, but not now with a tight hamstring. Here's LaShawn Haskins getting the carry. And he's out near the 27-yard line, which would set up third down and about 5 for them.
You talk about Brunell. One of the things that Tom Coughlin wants him to work on is his accuracy and his touch, and also not running. Young quarterbacks have a tendency, the minute they see pressure, they take off. They want Brunell to sit in and look for his receivers, his second and third receivers, more than he's done.
And so do his receivers. Jimmy Smith told us yesterday, sometimes you always have to be looking back because he takes off and goes, and now suddenly you become a blocker for him rather than a receiver trying to run your complete route. It's third down and 4. Brunell getting a blitz from the outside, but he unloads it to Mr. Reliable Pete Mitchell, who fights and gets yardage up to the 38 and a first down.
Just a very simple out pattern against the Baltimore. I knew I'd say it before it was over.
Those are the Browns, the Baltimore Browns.
That's right. It was the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl III when Jets played them, and I was on that team. Take a look at Brunell. Nice setup here. Has the patience, getting a little pressure from the outside. Still waits. And they're in a zone, and the short coverage was Buchanan, but Mitchell makes the catch and picks up the first down.
His third catch of the day for 21 yards. Changing the play at the line of scrimmage is Mark Brunell. Pocket collapses. Flag is thrown. Could be a hold. Brunell being chased by Siragusa. He fires the ball to the middle and finds his tight end, Rich Griffith, who hangs on to this one. But remember, there's a flag, and it's holding, and it's coming back.
You know, when there's that much time for the quarterback, it's usually something with the offensive line holding, and that's what it was.
Pick up the number from Mike Carey.
Penalty flag.
Holding. Offense, number 79. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
So the center, Dave Wydell, gets hit with the penalty.
You alluded to something moments ago, Jim, about Mark Brunell. This hamstring may help to make him a little better quarterback. Normally, on a scramble like this, Brunell would be very anxious to take off and run with the ball. He has over 400 yards rushing from the quarterback position. You see how agile he is there. Normally, he would have taken off and run with that ball, but with the hamstring about 80-85%, he doesn't want to hurt it again. And he threw the ball and actually completed it to Griffith. But for the penalty, he would have had a good game.
And those numbers illustrate the offensive line problems that Jacksonville has had. But the future looks bright with those 2 rookie tackles. James Stewart isn't going to get much here. There are Colts everywhere, and he's chased out of Browns by 3 of them as Buchanan comes up and makes the final shove.
A pretty quick defense the Colts are. That was good pursuit. This is not a great defensive team with one or two impact players. You look at a team like Buffalo and you see Bryce Pop and Bruce Smith, and they make things happen. But this is really, the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. No big star. Tony Bennett is the closest thing they have to a good pass rusher. Otherwise, it's just people playing together and pursuing as they did on that play.
Second down coming up in 24. Another key fact for them is right there. They have been very healthy. And this is a defense that in past years, and I'm thinking of the Steve Entman situation while he was a member of the Colts, have been ripped apart by injuries. Second and a bundle. 24. He's going to unload it long, and he's got Jimmy Smith out there, who actually becomes a defensive back on that play to knock the ball away from three Colts. Ashley Ambrose was up in the air to try and come down with it.
So was John Belzer, and the ball was a little bit overthrown. You have to wonder, you watch Burnell walking sort of tenderly. Take a look at him again. He pump fakes in the hopes of getting his receiver free. And you see him bouncing on that leg a little bit, looking downfield. Hard to say. He told us, yesterday that it was 80-85%. Coaches were saying it was better than that. I think it's bothering him a little bit.
Jacksonville 3 for 4 on the day on third down, but this is a very tough task here. 3rd and 24. The crowd urging him to run, but it's not a wise decision for him to scamper too much on that tender hamstring. They throw the ball into the ground. Let's see if he threw it into the ground and it's grounding going to be called against him. Oh, it looks like somebody was downfield.
Ineligible receiver downfield on the offense. Number 79 and 66. That foul is declined. 4th down.
Well, the offensive line had gone down the field as Bowens and Wydell are both detected down the field. Kevin Gilbride is questioning the interpretation of the lineman downfield. They'll kick the ball away on 4th down.
Ray Buchanan for the Colts.
Barker's into punt. Ray Buchanan shielding his eyes from the sun. This is a line drive and very returnable. Oh, Buchanan goes down with a late flag coming down at the 46-yard line of Jacksonville. And probably an illegal block coming up against Indianapolis.
1st down for Colts. Hey, Jaguars fans.
It's going against Indianapolis. And they'll lose some field position here.
You look at a rhythm of a game and 10 march
On the return, illegal block in the back, number 57 by the return team. That's 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
You heard the 10-yard penalty. March Abroad obviously not liking that, but the rhythm of a game, the Colts, critical game, need 3 to get that playoff spot. They get ahead 14-0, and then they let the Jaguars come back. Not a good idea for them.
14-7, Indianapolis leading. Back to Jacksonville in a moment. Craig Erickson getting the start today for the Indianapolis Colts for the injured Jim Harbaugh. But let's go back. Erickson began the season as the Colts' #1 guy, but in the season opener against the Bengals, he threw 3 interceptions. Then week 2 versus the Jets, Erickson failed to throw a touchdown, but did rack up an interception and was benched in favor of Jim Harbaugh. And it's been Harbaugh's team until last week when he injured his knee. But as he told John Dockery before the game, if needed today, he could come in. And the Colts need this game, and Marshall Faulk is having a real struggle getting that push to 1,000, as this time Smengi collars him and brings him down.
And here's Jim Harbaugh on the sidelines. It's incredible. He has an operation on Monday, arthroscopic surgery to remove some cartilage. He's in the hospital till Wednesday. Out on the practice field, limping on Thursday, practices on Friday, and said, hey, I can play today if needs be. Top-rated passer in the NFL. What an incredible year he's had.
2nd down, 13. Faulk lost 3 on that play. 3 consecutive plays now, and he's been losing yardage. And he's down to 27 yards rushing on the day, showing a blitz. And coming with a blitz, and Erickson is hit. That ball's up in the air, and it is almost intercepted. Mickey Washington was at the 40-yard line as Erickson just threw that one up into the sky, and Washington almost came down with it.
What Jacksonville is simply saying now, we're not going to let Marshall Faulk beat us. We're going to make Craig Erickson, rusty as he is, beat us. So they are coming with the blitz 8-man fronts.
John, I want to throw this out to you as we take a look at this play and watch the pressure as they came with the blitz. And I think that Jacksonville saw something last week what Carolina did, just come with the blitz.
Carolina had 7 sacks, and that time it was a safety blitz, Travis Davis.
3rd down and 13. That's going to be in the ground and bounces down at the 35-yard line. There is a flag down on the play. And suddenly Indianapolis is starting to get very sloppy. They are pointing now that it is going against Jacksonville, though.
We'll wait for the call, but Ted Marchibroda said he did not want to use his injured Jim Harbaugh, and it is against Jacksonville. That he'd like Erickson to give Harbaugh a week off, get a win here, and let Harbaugh come back next week.
Against San Diego at home.
Offsides by the defense. The nose guard lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, that's a killer, really, because now it becomes more manageable. 3rd down and 8 instead of punting the ball away and forcing Indianapolis to punt. I want to throw this out at you, though, right now, though. Last week at Carolina, Indianapolis jumps out to a quick 10-0 lead and then couldn't finish off the Panthers. Today they jump out to a quick 14-0 lead, and now they've allowed Jacksonville back into this game. 3rd down and 8. He throws, trying to come back and make the catch is Sean Dawkins, but the ball is behind him at the 35-yard line. Incomplete, and now Indianapolis will punt.
Well, your point is well taken. Last week against Carolina, they allowed 7 sacks. But Carolina's a different team. They have a veteran defense, and Jacksonville will do some of this here as well. They will come with some pressure, though they didn't get any that time, and the ball was just underthrown downfield to Dawkins. But the difference here is that Jacksonville does not have the personnel. The Carlton Bailey at linebacker, the Sam Mills, the Connors at linebackers who can make it happen.
Cedric Tillman is back for Gardocki's punt. He nails this one. His last one was just 30 yards, and the catch is made by Tillman. He fumbles the ball inside his own 5 at the 2, and it's Indianapolis ball. Derwin Gray comes up with the ball, and what a redemption for him. He was flagged for the big penalty last week in the loss at Carolina, the face masking call, and now he recovers a fumble inside the Jacksonville 5.
What a great play by him, and it was actually ill-advised. Cedric Tillman back there fielding the punt. Every punt returner is told that inside the 10-yard line, you don't field the punt. You let it bounce. Hopefully it goes into the end zone. But Tillman goes back, and then you see him in the shadows there in the sun. He might have lost the ball, fumbles it, and then Derwin Gray, as you mentioned, comes up with the recovery.
Now remember, normally that would be Desmond Howard back there. Derwin Gray last week, late stages of the game against the Panthers, Kerry Collins throws, and Gray gets a bit of the face mask right there. It ended up in a 15-yard penalty and allowed John Casey to kick the game-winning field goal.
With 8 seconds left.
Yeah, inside the 5. Gray, though, comes up with this recovery of a fumble punt. Handoff, Marshall Faulk stuck at the 2.
And what a break for the Colts that was, because you could feel momentum changing here. And they had to be wondering, as you mentioned, they got a hit 10-0 against the other expansion team last week. They get a hit 14-0 against Jacksonville expansion team. And then it goes to 14-7. Jacksonville's moving the ball. So that is a huge play for the Colts.
2nd down and goal. Erickson's got to get them in here, John.
Absolutely.
Ball at the 2-yard line. Colts lead 14-7, 6.5 to go here in the first half. And a game they absolutely need. Back to Faulk. Hit at the 2 again. Gets maybe to the 1, but another fine play by the defense of Jacksonville. Don Davey goes over there and makes the tackle.
Interesting kind of freelance by Marshall Faulk, who has great vision, but watch him. He does not follow number 42, his lead back, Roosevelt Potts, but rather takes it to the left side and doesn't get in.
This was all set up when Cedric Tillman fumbled a punt. Tried to catch it inside the 10, fumbled it, it went off his hands and recovered by Derwin Gray at the Jacksonville 5. 3rd down and goal. Potts and Faulk in the backfield. The pitch to Faulk. A lot of blocking. To the corner. Touchdown, Indianapolis. close.
Falk is so calm when he's running that sweep. He knows he has all the tools to make the move and get in the end zone. He just waits, and he allows Roosevelt Potts to make the block to get him into the end zone.
Ray recovers the fumble. Here's the play again. It's finally gets the points for him.
Watch Potts and watch Matthews out front getting a block. But there it is, Potts with the block, and then he just knows where that corner of the end zone is. Good presence of mind, gets it in.
Blanchard for the extra point. And it is good. 21-7 is the score. Indianapolis in the lead. Derwin Gray, who absolutely had to have a long plane ride home from Clemson, South Carolina last week on that Indianapolis plane ride back home after they lose. He committed the penalty. He was very upfront about it, thought it was a good play. But now it has shifted around. Cedric Tillman, and I think they're feeling the repercussions of the concussion now on Desmond Howard. Howard would normally be back fielding punts.
Excellent point, and the Colts are able to capitalize. It was critical because it takes a little heat off Erickson starting for Jim Harbaugh, and Falk is the man. He's one of those premier elite running backs. He's got 11 carries for 30 yards and 1 touchdown, and you know, he's the man that has to get it done today for the Colts.
And probably for the next few weeks.
I think so, too.
To get them into the playoffs.
Although Harbaugh will be back. He was gingerly running on the sidelines. He took a few setups before the game, and only 6 days after surgery on his knee, he's back in uniform as a backup quarterback. That's an incredible situation.
Well, John, Jacksonville now down by 2 touchdowns. Jim Harbaugh, if needed, could play. He was out very early this morning on the turf here at Jacksonville Stadium as he was practicing rushing back into the pocket and getting his sets and setting up, and rushed back in and got some more treatment and was fine.
But it's amazing what a guy, I mean, coming out before the game doing that, stopping to sign some autographs for fans. What a nice, relaxed quarterback he is.
The ball sails into the end zone, and Jimmy Smith will watch it go out of the end zone, and it will be a touchback. First down for Jacksonville out of their own 20-yard line. All right, coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see triple threat rookie Cordell Stewart, the man they call Slash. And the AFC Central Division champion Steelers take on Tim Brown and the Oakland Raiders, who right now are fighting for a wild card spot. In fact, today they'll go with Billy Joe Hobart at quarterback. So check your local listings for the game in your area.
And you think of the Steelers at 9-4 against Oakland, 8-5. Oakland's got to win the game, but 6-game winning streak after those back-to-back losses, one of them to Jacksonville and then to Cincinnati. Boy, the Steelers put it together. They are a hot team.
1st and 10 for the Jaguars, down 2 touchdowns to Indianapolis. 21-7. Changing the play once again is Mark Brunell at the line of scrimmage. James Stewart. That was a very good audible, obviously, out to the 36 and a first down.
James Stewart's strength lies in his inside running. He's a strong, tough inside runner. And take a look at it right here. A little change of direction. He gets a decent lead block and then does the rest by himself. Good hold.
I'm amazed they're running the ball so effectively against a very good defense against the rush.
Second ranked in the NFL against the rush. A shocker.
Tillman goes in motion. A blitz, they couldn't get to Brunell, and he delivers the ball high off the hands of Pete Mitchell, and incomplete. And if there has been one thing noticeable about his passes today, he has been high on a lot of his deliveries.
You know, your hamstring affects so much. I mean, not just your running ability, it affects your setup ability, it affects your throwing ability because you're using your legs to throw the ball. And Mark Brunell, after being out for a couple of weeks and not taking that many snaps, just isn't the quarterback we saw earlier in the year.
2nd down and 10 at the 36. Short drop. Siragusa had him by the ankles, but he unloaded, and the pass is caught by Jimmy Smith, who looked as though he was juggling the ball as he went out of bounds, but they'll rule it a catch at the 40.
You know, Siragusa's given Bowens some fits. We've been looking a lot at Tony Bennett the right defensive end working against Baselli, and Baselli's doing a pretty good job, but Saragusa is having his own way with balance.
Referee Mike Carey was discussing whether or not that was a catch over on the sideline, and they ruled that it was okay, and it was that he did have possession. 3rd down and 6. And we notice now from St. Louis, Buffalo has rallied after being down 10-7, as you saw in the scores, and they now lead 21-10.
Well, they get Andre Reed back, which is a real lift for the Buffalo Bills.
The Bills lead the Colts by 1 game in the AFC East. 3rd down and 6. Brunell fires. It is going to be deflected, and Eugene Daniel ends up with an interception. He's got the sideline. Daniel still going to the 10 and caught from behind at the 5-yard line. The deflected pass, deflected by Quentin Coriat and picked off by Daniel. It was intended for Pete Mitchell.
He keeps going to Mitchell. You can go to the well one time too often. To be realistic about this, Jacksonville doesn't have much at the wide receiver spot. So what Brunell has to do is go inside to his tight end. Mitchell is his favorite target. Brunell made an excellent play. He looked like a defensive back after this interception. Take a look at it here. The ball is tipped. Daniel comes up with it, but watch the end of the play. Watch what Brunell does. He wards off blockers. He waits. He keeps it. See him right there? To the left of the screen, forces Daniel to slow down and then makes the tackle. Excellent play by the quarterback. Look at Brunell with the injured hamstring, showing lots of heart and makes a good play to prevent a touchdown.
For the 2nd time in a row, Indianapolis starts a drive inside the Jacksonville 5. They lead 21-7. Marshall Faulk. And he'll push it to the 4. And this is tough on this defense.
And they're getting big plays. The Colts are. They get the 95-yard kickoff return. They recover a fumble on a punt. They get an interception. So it's not Erickson in the offense that is doing it, but rather it's some defensive help and some special teams for the Colts.
Checking out Mark Brunell on the Jacksonville bench now to see if he's okay. Playing with a tender hamstring. He tore the hamstring 3 weeks ago actually, against Tampa Bay on a scramble for a touchdown run. 2nd down and goal for Indianapolis. Ball is at the 4. Erickson has a man wide open, and his tight end, Dilger, cannot hang on to it.
They're going to stop calling him the franchise if he keeps doing that. That time it was simply play action fake. A good fake by Erickson to fall. Dilger delays and then goes out in the far flat. The ball looked like it was catchable.
They nicknamed him the franchise because he had a 7-catch day.
Actually, not a great play action fake, but he has time. He had to stretch, but, you know, I know he's a rookie. I know the season's gotten long for him, but this is a catch that was makeable.
Now it's 3rd and goal from the 4. And Falk slipped and fell at the 6. He couldn't make his cut, and he goes down.
We've seen any number of players slip and fall. You're probably saying to yourself, why are they all slipping and falling? Well, you know, a lot of them aren't used to playing on natural grass. This is a beautiful natural grass field, but you get so used to the artificial turf that sometimes the change is a little different for you. That time Falk slipped, so the Colts will have to settle for a field goal. 28 yards rushing for Marshall Faulk. They cannot punch it in for a touchdown. Terry Blanchard is in to attempt this field goal. Spot is at the 13. 23-yard attempt is up and good. And the interception for Eugene Daniel turns into a field goal for Blanchard and a 24-7 Indianapolis lead over Jacksonville. Well, Jacksonville's just killing themselves. Just as the Cedric Tillman fumble of the punt, recovered by Derwin Gray, turned into a touchdown for the previous score for the Colts. So it's really taking advantage of turnovers.
The old veteran in that secondary, Eugene Daniel, coming up with the interception. John, if he had been able to go that final 4 yards, that would have been his 2nd interception for a touchdown of the season.
He had that 97-yarder against the Jets, Eugene Daniel did.
All right, coming up now, Jacksonville will have a kickoff return last week against the Broncos. Look at this one. Desmond Howard across the field. Jimmy Smith Down the sideline, touchdown. Smith had a 3-touchdown day. He recovered a block punt for a touchdown. He took this return for a touchdown. And then he did it the more conventional way. He took a touchdown pass off the arm of Steve Berline. And Jimmy Smith is back deep right now, although he hasn't got his passing partner, Desmond Howard, with him.
He doesn't, because Howard is out with a concussion. But what a nice story for Jimmy Smith, who had such tough times. You know, he was injured in Dallas for 2 years, cut by Philadelphia, has new life here, and that 3 touchdowns last week was a special day for him.
24-7 Indianapolis with 2:50 to go here in the first half, and they kick the ball away from him again, and again it sails out of the end zone.
But you know, Larry Pasquale, the special teams coach for Jacksonville, I mean, the only reason they were in the game against Denver last week was because of Larry Pasquale and his special teams blocking a punt, touchdown, and the throwback. And Pasquale told me earlier that he might have a little razzle-dazzle somewhere in his back pocket. He's talking about a possible reverse on a kickoff or on a punt, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Well, I wonder if a lot of that changes, though, with Desmond Howard gone.
I think a lot of it does, because Howard is such a good, especially a punt returner, kickoff returner, and handles the ball so well.
From the 20. Stewart turns nothing into 5 yards. And let's check in with Greg Gumbel once again as we go off to New York.
All right, Jim, in St. Louis, the Buffalo Bills are rolling. Derek Holmes from a yard out scores on 2nd and goal, set up by a 49-yard run by Thurman Thomas. Jim Kelly has thrown 2 touchdown passes. The Bills lead it 21-10, Jim.
So they felt the heat, I'm sure, here from Jacksonville, knowing that Indianapolis was ahead, John, and they knew they needed the win. We have a Jaguar down on the field being attended to after that first running play by Stewart.
Buffalo obviously needs to win. They're atop the AFC East 8-5.
And they certainly know when to win, don't they?
They certainly do. Win late. But what a defensive team they have. Saw them last week against the San Francisco 49ers. And, boy, Bruce Smith, Bryce Popp. When you look at Bryce Popp, it's funny, isn't it? He has 16 sacks going into the game, and you look at the entire Jacksonville team, and they only have, coming into this game, 11 sacks. You know, I mean, that's the biggest problem. You talk to Tom Coughlin, you talk to the Jacksonville folks, and they say, hey, what we need is a big pass rusher. We got to get some pressure on the quarterback. We haven't been able to do it.
James Stewart was the injured player, and the running back is up and appears okay now, but here's the running play once again. Try and pick up what happened to him. He got collared from behind. Boy, Siragusa, 98, has been all across the field today.
He certainly has had a great day. Comes down hard to see what the injury might have been.
Rolled over on his shoulder a little bit, and I think that's what they're checking out.
Yeah, I think Tony Bennett was on top of him. Bennett's a 255-pound defensive end, came down on him and checking his shoulder.
Well, they lose a lot if Stewart has to go out of the lineup for an extended period of time, as Vaughn Dunbar is in now. Stewart has 53 yards rushing today. It is 2nd down and 6, and we are at the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Indianapolis leading 24-7, and this is the NFL on NBC. 2 minutes to go here in the first half, and then we send you on your way for the Domino's halftime report. Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs join Greg Gumbel for an interview with NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, and he'll discuss the Cleveland Browns' planned move to Baltimore. That's the Domino's halftime report coming up at the half right here on NBC, and of course I'll be glued listening to that one coming from Cleveland.
One of the more shocking things that's happened in pro football to me, a guy, Art Modell, who loved Cleveland, was there for so long, had such an affection for the town, to pick up his team and move. Shocking.
The pass to Jimmy Smith is caught, and he's beyond the 30, which will give him a first down out to the 32-yard line. The key issue in all of this is a stadium, and Cleveland proposing to renovate Cleveland Stadium. The model for all of this is this beautiful facility that we're in right now. The old Gator Bowl, now Jacksonville Municipal Stadium. It is so beautiful, John, and you can see it right here. But there are companies around the Jacksonville area that actually rent out the club seating areas here to hold their Christmas parties.
Well, they have this incredible, on both sides of the stadium, food court area that looks like you're in a mall or in a beautiful restaurant. And the sight lines for the stadium, 73,000 seats or so, are incredible.
LaShawn Maston Strange call on first down, coming down near the end of the first half, down by 17 points to run it up the gut near the 35-yard line. I think 2 timeouts left.
I was going to say they have to be more aggressive. Mark Brunell has to try to get a score before the half, keep his team in this game.
Now he goes back, and once again he throws to his tight end, intended for Mitchell at the 41, and he can't hang on.
You know, I'll be interested to hear what the commissioner has to say at halftime as well about the move isn't a fait accompli.
No, it isn't.
Congress is asking for a delay. I think there was a vote supposed to happen in January, and they were asking for a delay to review the situation. So I don't think the final word is written on this Cleveland move to Baltimore yet, and I'll be interested to hear what the commissioner has to say.
Well, already the Browns are 0 for 1, too, in court in Cleveland. Blitz from the outside. He unloads it as he reads his hot man, and his hot man becomes his tight end, and Mitchell catches.
You're saying to yourself, now, why isn't Mark Brunell trying to go downfield and get a score, maybe steal a touchdown? It's as simple as this. They have no downfield speed. They have no receivers that can stretch the defense. So he's really under severe restraint. That's why he keeps going to his tight end.
Now they'll 4th down and they'll punt, and a smart move by Indianapolis to use a timeout with 1:18 left, because that's a lot of time, and they'll get the ball back and try and add to the lead.
Mitchell should have gone to the first down marker. I mean, it's 4th and 1, you're 4th and 2, you're 3 and 10. Certainly those kinds of plays frustrate a coach, but you'd have to even wonder here whether a team in that situation wouldn't go for it. I know they don't want to give the Colts the ball in this position, but heck, you don't have much to lose.
So Barker comes in to punt. Back at his own 24-yard line. There's Ray Buchanan. He told me last night, yeah, I like returning punts as long as I don't get hit too much. Good punt by Barker. Buchanan, no fair catch. And finally, the Jaguars bring him down inside the 15-yard line. And it will be a long field for Craig Erickson and the Colts to try and get some points, but maybe thinking field goal with 1:05 left.
I mean, it should be a careful field and careful strategy. If I'm Ted Marchibroda, I have a rusty quarterback in for my injured star, Jim Harbaugh. I'd be very careful with Erickson, and I might give it to Marshall. Really safe, high percentage passing. I wouldn't want to turn over and put some life back into Jacksonville.
Indianapolis with only 84 total yards and yet a 24-7 lead, as Jacksonville has dominated in that department in yardage. But remember, a lot of their drives have only had to go 10 yards or less. And they also had a kickoff return for 95 yards. The ball is at the 17, and they'll run it. Marshall Faulk turns the corner and runs out of bounds near a first down at the 24.
Yeah, I think you have to be careful here. You don't want to make a mistake. Give it to Faulk, who can pick up yardage, can break a long one. And if you get it near midfield, then you might get a little more aggressive to see if you can get, you know, a field goal or maybe a touchdown.
So the countdown is 7 away from 1,000.
7 away. Second year in a row, it would be over 1,000 yards for Marshall Faulk.
I'm going to go way out on a limb and say he's going to get it soon. Second down. He'll get the first down out over the 25, near the 27-yard line.
You want to go out on a limb and tell me if he's going to get it before the half?
Well, you know what? He ran about 7 yards there and got 3. But he got the first down. The clock continues to run down, and Indianapolis is not stopping it.
He tells you about the philosophy of Ted Marchibroda. Don't make a mistake. Don't give them life. You're right. He ran about at least 7, 8, 10 yards, but only got a couple.
25 seconds to go in the half. Faulk pushes to the 32. And that should do it for the first half here in Jacksonville, as Indianapolis leads over the Jaguars 24-7.
The 32-yard line.
The game started with a bang. A 95-yard kickoff return by Aaron Bailey. Bailey then took a 14-yard touchdown pass from Craig Erickson. And they have added to it. 24-7 the score at the break. And now let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York. Jacksonville Jaguars 24-7. Jim Donovan with John Dockery. And let's take a look at the Coors Light first half stats and take a look at how they fashioned this 24-7 lead. And I don't know sometimes if it really translates in the numbers how they did it, because really when you take a look at total yardage here in the first half, well, Indianapolis comes up well short of Jacksonville in total yardage. And here come the stats right now. Look at what Jacksonville's done in total yards.
I know they outgained the Colts, but the key stat there, if you look all the way down the right-hand side, see that number 2? Okay, 2 turnovers by Jacksonville, a fumble and an interception. That turned into 10 points for the Colts. And, of course, the first play of the game was something else, too, Jim.
Yeah, if you were not with us for the very opening kickoff of the game, here's what you missed. Aaron Bailey takes the opening kickoff from his own 5, and then 95 yards later, he's gone.
And Mike Hollis has no shot here, the kicker. He says, oops, little Matador shot, takes it up the sidelines, 95 yards. And that's how the Colts opened the game, so there was a real momentum thing, and it took a little pressure off Craig Erickson in for Jim Harbaugh, and I think that was key as well.
Bailey's day so far tremendous. 2 touchdowns on the day, the 95-yard kickoff return, and then he caught a 14-yard touchdown pass from Craig Erickson that at that time made it 14-0. Jacksonville got back in it at 14-7 on a James Stewart touchdown run, but then they committed, as John mentioned, the 2 turnovers, an interception, and a fumble punt by Cedric Tillman, and those convert into 10 more points for Indianapolis.
And I also think Ted Barchabrota got the luxury of not putting a lot of pressure on Craig Erickson coming in for Harbaugh. He doesn't want Craig Erickson to lose this game. He didn't want to force him to have to win it, and Erickson's stats in the first half is a 3 for 9 for 30 yards, so not much by Erickson.
Jaguars will get the ball to start the second half. Picked up by Jimmy Smith. And Smith is dragged down from behind out over the 30-yard line at the 31. Mark Brunell, first game back in 3 weeks when he had a hamstring problem. And so there's the quarterback breakdown. Erickson for the Colts on top. Only 3 for 9. Brunell 8 for 15. Most of those going to his tight end, Pete Mitchell.
He just hasn't been able to get the ball downfield that much, although he did get a couple of, gifts down there when there was some bumping, but he really hasn't gotten much. Brunell isn't the same quarterback. His hamstring is bothering him some. He doesn't seem as mobile, as chippy. He's not running as well as he normally runs.
Jim Harbaugh, who had knee surgery on Monday. That's right, Monday, is available if they need him, and he is warming up on the sideline. Stewart, who left the game injured right at the end of the first half, is back in there and having a good day running the ball. He's over 50 yards, and he's out to the 37-yard line, brought down by Quentin Coriat. Well, that's going to be interesting over on the sideline. Helmet off now, but still warming up. This guy is Mr. Ready, isn't he?
Well, when you have a year like he's having, you want to get back into the game. I mean, he is a top-rated quarterback in the NFL, and you look at the year he's having with 15 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 66% completion, got his team headed for the playoffs. You don't want to sit on the sideline.
2nd and 4. Stewart will get the first down to the 46.
But I would be shocked if Ted Barchabrota put Jim Harbaugh back in this game after having knee surgery 6 days ago. He's ahead. He's got the game in control, 24-7. If his defense will step up, so continue the way you've been going. Play some defense, use the running game, and protect Erickson. And don't use Harbaugh.
I hope that's not a roll that he's doing there, because he's in the lead, 24-7. First down, though, for Jacksonville. The ball is at the 45. Brunell is high on the delivery again, and a big hit by Jason Belzer to knock the ball away at the 35-yard line. The pass intended for Pete Mitchell, and what a hit by 29 Belzer.
Well, you can't blame Mitchell on this. Belzer put a bell-ringing hit on him. Mitchell over the middle, and everyone knows that Brunell is going to Mitchell. It's his favorite target because he will catch the ball. He will get open. But take a look at Mitchell coming across now. Just as he's catching the ball, before he can put it away and secure it, Belzer puts the hit on it and knocks it away.
Don't you believe that he's been a little high on all of his deliveries today?
I think he's been a little high because he's not right. Yeah. I mean, as much as you want to put something, an injury, out of your mind, as Mark Brunell is trying to do with his hamstring, it's almost impossible.
Timeout called for by Jacksonville. And you're watching the NFL on NBC.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Honda, who offers an impressive family of cars, sport utility vehicles, and minivans. By the Pepsi-Cola Company, who reminds you that nothing else is a Pepsi. By Energizer batteries, still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going. And by Wendy's Monterey Ranch Chicken Sandwich. Get something you love for the holidays.
And welcome back to Jacksonville on a beautiful day here at Jacksonville's Municipal Stadium. Jaguars trail on the scoreboard to Indianapolis 24-7. Brunell after timeout throws. Jimmy Smith pulls it off the ground. He's up near a first down. Nice catch as he slides near the 45-yard line. Eugene Daniel on the coverage.
Eugene Daniel, 12 years in the league. Simple out pattern. And Brunell had plenty of time. Watch him here. Daniel's giving him too much room, allows that completion. Daniel does not want to be beaten deep. Smith has pretty good speed. Daniel has those aging legs, so he's giving him a little room for the completion of the first down.
And remember, he got burned once today when he slipped and fell. The footing is not great out on this turf today. 1st and 10, though, for Jacksonville. Here's Stewart. Nothing to the 45 and pushed back. Brian DeMarco was trying to give him a block on the right side, and he couldn't. There's a little extra activity over there on the sideline. Very, very upset is Bernard Whittington, 95 of the Indianapolis Colts, who I believe felt he got held and didn't see a flag thrown.
I believe you're right. He's doing a lot of complaining.
I think I'm right about the upset factor. What do you think?
A lot of ventilation.
He's a second-year man out of Indiana, and they're going to cool him off a little bit, but Stewart was held up at the 45-yard line for no gain. In fact, a loss of 1. So they 2nd down and 11. Brunell out of the backfield for the first time. Stewart, and he's to the 40. He'll get 5 yards. Then a late flag goes down, as we might have an extra hit coming up here. They're pointing at Boselli. And we'll pick up the call from referee Mike Carey. Personal foul, and I think it's going to be on Boselli. Tony McCoy with his helmet off is upset.
Personal foul on the offense, number 71. Late hit after the ball was dead. 15 yards, still 2nd down.
Take a look at number 71 at the end of this play after the catch. Now look for 71 left of your screen. Here he comes right here. Hard to see, but he put a little extracurricular activity on, and that was a penalty.
Well, those kind of penalties have got to really put you in Tom Coughlin's doghouse, don't you think?
He requires discipline. I mean, that whole idea of concentration. When he actually has that up, concentration line, when you cross this line and come on the playing field or the practice field, you're really supposed to get focused and pay attention. This team has not been focused today. They've made too many mistakes.
2nd down and 21 after the penalty on Boselli. Willie Jackson is into the game at wide receiver. He went in motion. Brunell going to give it long for Jimmy Smith. There's a flag down. He dives and almost comes up with a circus catch at the 10. But we may have had contact down the field on Indianapolis.
It's one of those moments as a cornerback that you feel this flash of fear and terror because you know you're in trouble. And Eugene Daniel felt that.
Pass interference against the defense, number 38. Spot foul and automatic. First down.
It's that moment as a cornerback when you have a cushion, you're backing up, and you know the receiver has gotten too close to you, has too much speed. Watch here. Now, at this moment, he's too close. Daniels knows it, so he puts his left arm out, slows him down a little bit, and Jimmy Smith can't get to the ball, but there's a penalty.
And instead of 2nd and 21, they now get the first down on the penalty, and they're inside the Indianapolis 30 at the 27-yard line. A little delay. Stewart dancing around in the hole. He'll get 1 yard out of all that to the 26. Runs into the arms of Bernard Whittington and Tony Siragusa.
Brought down by number 95, Bernard Whittington.
One of the big factors is you got to have 100-yard rushers. Jacksonville this year haven't been able to do it.
As a matter of fact, no 100-yard rushers, only 100-yard person, and that was Pete Mitchell, who went over 100 yards in receptions. And if he's going to do it today, this is a good defense against the rush. As a matter of fact, in the last 25 games, only Bernie Parmalee was able to gain over 100 yards against the Colts. So he's having a pretty good day against a good defensive team against the rush.
He's out of there right now on 2nd down and 9, and the play clock may have wound down on Mark Brunell.
Delay a game against the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
John, is this maybe a little bit of a factor of not being in the lineup for 3 weeks for a guy like Brunell and just not being sharp today?
He's not sharp. He's got that hamstring problem, but penalties have plagued Jacksonville all year long. I think he should be sharper than this mentally. Of course, he's been involved in the practices mentally, not so much physically, but no excuse for delay a game like that. You see the clock, you have to get the ball off or call a timeout.
On 2nd and 14. Down the middle and dropped inside the 5-yard line. Up in the air, Jason Belzer knocks down Willie Jackson. They had Curtis Marsh wide open all by himself down the middle of the field.
Yes, they did. And he looked that way, trying to look off Belzer, the safety, and then came back to Willie Jackson. By the time he got back to Jackson, Belzer, number 29, watch him here on your screen. He looks one way, Brunell does. Watch him close and make the hit. That's his job. He's playing center field. He has to help the corner. He did.
2 good hits on this series now by Belzer. He knocked Pete Mitchell out of the game. He's gone to the locker room for Jacksonville. It is 3rd down. Blitz coming. Brunell unloads it. And the catch made by Jimmy Smith down to the 20-yard line. He'll be short of the 1st down by 2 yards there. You're down 17.
I go for it.
You've only got 3 wins, and you've got 73,000 people you're trying to entertain. You go for it.
Hey, I'm 3-10. Why not go for it? 4-10 would be wonderful to win 4 games in expansion year. You also have to consider that the other expansion guys have won 6 games, so you're always being compared to them. He's going for it. Good idea.
And he's going to go shotgun to try and get it on 4th and 3. Oh, waited a long time to try and get the ball to Cedric Tillman, and then a late flag comes in on Buchanan from way back in the end zone, and they're going to get him for climbing up on Tillman's back.
You know, the problem there was that Ray Buchanan had too good a coverage. He read it too well. You mentioned Brunell held it a long time. Tillman was simply hooking. Buchanan read
Pass
it.
interference against the defense, number 34. Spot foul and an automatic 1st down.
So the problem is, Jim, if you get there too early, what do you do with yourself? You try to keep your hands off the receiver, but it's very hard. Take a look at it here. Buchanan. He's there. Hard to see from that angle, but he had his arm on the back of Tillman, and that was a call.
Well, they get the 1st down on the penalty. 9:35 to go, 3rd quarter. Brunell trying to get the Jaguars in. They trail by 17, 24-7 to Indianapolis. And it's batted down for at least the 3rd time today, and the 2nd time by Tony Siragusa.
I'm smiling because Tony, you know, is not known for knocking down passes. He's known as a run stopper at 315 pounds, 6'3". He's in there just to stop the run. Tony Bennett is normally the guy that does it, but take a look at it here. Brunell only 6 feet tall. It's that pressure up the middle. It's what coaches dream about. If you can close the pocket the way Siragusa did against Bowens, you don't give the quarterback a chance to step up and get rid of the ball.
3 knockdowns, a sack. He threw an interception. He's been harassed in the pocket, but remember, because of that hamstring, he's living in the pocket today, which is different than a run by the fullback, Lachey Maston, who get him inside the 15 down to the 13. Normally, his pocket is outside the normal pocket.
He loves to roll out. He loves to roll away from the pressure. He has great escapability, and that's where he makes things happen. He's really an improvisational kind of quarterback, much the way Steve Young was when he was a young player, and so many of the young players who like to, the minute they feel pressure, take off and make something happen.
It's 3rd down, and they are in 4th down territory, I think, the rest of the afternoon.
Safe to say.
3rd down and 6. Now a safety blitz. And he's going to get brought down and try and get rid of it and throw it down, and they will rule him down at the 20.
The quarterback was in the ground.
Yep, they're going to rule him down.
He was in the grasp of, it looked like it was Ellis Johnson, number 62. And they really like Johnson. He's a #1 pick of the Colts. You can take a look at it again. But Johnson out of Florida, really mobile. And you see him right there, gets a good rush and pulls him down. He's in the grasp, tries to throw the ball away, but no dice. So he'll give a shot at a field goal at 4th and 12.
Spot will come at the 28-yard line. Hollis will attempt a 38-yard field goal. He's had a field goal blocked today. Jacksonville was almost forced to call a timeout. They didn't set the play clock right. And so the officials are saying, hey, this one's on us. We're going to give you more play clock time here. Ted Marchibroda saying why. No charge timeout on the Jaguars. Hollis had a 27-yarder early in the game, blocked by Tony Siragusa. Barker, the punter, to hold. And this one is good. And the opening drive of the second half gets them a field goal. It's 24-10, and you're watching the NFL on NBC. Indianapolis leads 24-10. Jacksonville takes the opening possession of the second half, takes it down for a field goal. They need touchdowns, but they also need points. And so on the positive side, they get on the board with 3.
Took a lot of time to get it, though, and they needed 7, but it's only a 14-point game. They're still very much in this game.
Watch out now. Aaron Bailey is back returning. He has 2 returns in the game for 132 yards, but the up man's going to get this one, and it's Belzer, the safety, normally, and he's going to get a pretty good return as he pushes out to the 35-yard line. Who was that did the high hurdle over the Derwin Gray, auditioning for the high jump in Atlanta this summer, goes way up over the pad.
The ball was kicked very short, and you see how close together they are. They got to be talking to one another. Belzer takes it. The ball was only kicked to the 20-yard line. So again, the Colts get pretty good field position at the 30.
First possession now, second half, for Marshall Faulk and the Indianapolis Colts offense. On his first carry, he should go over 1,000 yards for the season. Ball is at the 35-yard line. Here it comes. And Faulk with a final lunge will get over there. Up and over. It's been a struggle for him today. He's over 1,000 yards. Congratulations. Second year in a row for the great Marshall Faulk out of San Diego State.
And he is a spectacular one. There you see the season. And he's at 1,002 yards. Of course, you have to wonder whether he'll get to where he was last year. 1,282 yards. Over a 4-yard average, and he joins some select company.
Mitchell, Dickerson. And now Faulk, and of course, he becomes so much more on the reception side of the game. He can do so much with that as a receiver. It is second down and 7. Erickson unloads it. Wide open is Dilger's tight end, and he rumbles all the way down to the 36 of Jacksonville. Ken Dilger, the rookie tight end, who dropped one in the end zone in the first half, comes up with a nice play here.
This is a nice play. Dilger just found the hole in that zone. Erickson was very calm about it. Watch it here. Erickson has good protection. Tight end is wide open because a linebacker ran right by him. You saw number 99, Schmendy, who moved from his defensive end to linebacker, and was obviously a little confused. He was the one that should have been covering the tight end.
26 yards on the play. Biggest play of the day, yardage-wise, for the Colts. And Faulk gets to the 35, and that's it. Wrapped up by Schwartz, who's in there, the tight end, along with the linebacker, along with Goganius.
I love the way the Buffalo Bills tried to stop Marshall Faulk. That's a real good defensive team. What they tried to do is every time he came up to the line of scrimmage, they say, hey, Marshall, we see you. We know you're going to get the ball. Watch out. We're coming after you. And Marshall paid no attention to them and had a reasonable game. But that's one way to try to stop him. Actually, it worked a little bit. He had around 50 yards in that game.
Ball is at the 35-yard line. He's out wide as a wide receiver right now. That's Faulk in motion. Blitz coming. Incomplete as he tried to throw it to Sean Dawkins at the 30, and he's been quiet today.
He certainly has, and Marshall Faulk, you mentioned, is a spectacular receiver as well. Came into the game as a leading receiver on the team with 50 catches, and You know, last year he had 52, and they're utilizing him more. If you can get a great back, a Barry Sanders, an Emmitt Smith, or, you know, in the old days, like a Dickerson or a Simpson or someone out in the field with a little room to run, I mean, that's when you're most dynamic. And you look at Sean Dawkins, pretty good average on the year.
Nothing today, though. Timeout called for by Erickson. They were going to run out on the play clock. So with 6:03 remaining in the third quarter, they'll talk it over on the Indianapolis sideline while the Colts lead 24-10. Yes, sirree. Back here in Jacksonville, the 12th man. There they are. Bundled crowd today here in Jacksonville, and a big play coming up now for the Jaguar defense as they will try and defend on 3rd down and 9. Now tonight on NBC starts with an NBC special, Lost Civilizations. That's followed by Mad About You and then Hope and Gloria. Then Eddie Murphy comes to NBC in the box office comedy smash, The Distinguished Gentleman, all tonight right here on NBC. Erickson up, yelling out instructions to his offensive line on 3rd down and 9 from the Jacksonville 35. Steps up. Rifles one across the middle. Well thrown.
Yes.
First down to the 21-yard line as the connection is made there, and he gets Floyd Turner for the first time today.
That ball was thrown with some authority, and I was just thinking that Craig Erickson has to develop some confidence. He's had a horrendous year. He started the season, was benched. It's taken him a lot of time to get comfortable with a new system. This time, steps up in the pocket, puts some velocity on the ball, slightly behind Turner. But that's more of an authority a quarterback needs, and you get a sense that Erickson is starting to get a little more confident.
14 yards on the play. First down at the 21. Potts heads out in motion. Falk runs, and again he is tagged in the backfield as he gets the ball.
I just want to talk a little more about Erickson, because Erickson didn't only become the backup quarterback when Harbaugh took over, but he became the 3rd quarterback as Paul Justin leapfrogged over him and started a couple of games when Harbaugh was down. So Erickson went from being, you know, the starting quarterback to the 3rd-string emergency quarterback, and that's got to be tough for a guy who came in, was a starter at Tampa Bay, and, you know, got a couple $1 million a year to do something here in Indianapolis. So this is an opportunity at redemption for Craig Erickson.
A loss of 1 on first down for Falk, and they're blitzing on every play, and Falk gets hit in the backfield. He's going to lose some more back to the 25-yard line. They are doing exactly what Carolina did to them last week. This is exactly what happened. They got stuffed in the running game because there's too many bodies in the backfield.
Well, if you're at Jacksonville, wouldn't you do the same thing? Hey, you're down, you have nothing to lose. You'd come with the blitz as they do. You saw number 99 Schmengi there. You saw 54 Goganis. The only problem is they don't have the personnel that Carolina has to make all of those blitzes work. And if your quarterback can read and get some time, you can get burned.
Just an update, John.
Yeah.
Falk is now at 1,000 yards even on the season. He's losing a little ground. 3rd and 14. Erickson running out of time, tripped up from behind. Nice play. And surging in there to get him was Ernie Logan.
That's a rare happening for Jacksonville. It only happened 11 times prior to this game, a sack of a quarterback. No sacks for the last 2 weeks. Ernie, one of the original 10 Jaguars. There'll be a lot of change. I mean, this team is going to go through some transformation. They have to upgrade. Tom Coughlin knows it.
From the 34, Blanchard will attempt a 44-yard field goal. Right down the middle. Well done by Kerry Blanchard. 44-yard field goal, and they answer the Jacksonville field goal. 27-10. This is the NFL on NBC. Tom Coughlin and his Jaguars still down now by 17. They're not gaining any ground. 27-10 is your score as Indianapolis nails a 44-yard field goal from Kerry Blanchard. Here's Jimmy Smith taking the Gardocki kickoff. Goes from his 5 to his 27. And it's first down there. Coming up for the Jaguars, Devon McDonald brings down Smith.
At the 27.
And we'll be right back to Jacksonville and see what the Jaguars do with this next possession right after this. Back in in Jacksonville. Jimmy Smith was a little slow and, in fact, went over to the bench to get attended to after his kickoff return. But as you can see now, he's returning to the Jacksonville huddle, and he will take out Curtis Marsh and get back in there. Smith, one of the really only big play threats that they have. They have pretty good speed at the wide receiver with him. And now Mark Brunell will try and rally this team and see if he can do something. 3:14 to go in the third.
And he had been using Smith to work on Eugene Daniel, and the Colts made a change at that right cornerback position, as you mentioned, and they've come with Ashley Ambrose, his 4th year at Mississippi Valley State, a #2 draft pick for them in '92, and they like him. And I think that's the future for the Colts. With Ambrose, for Daniel, who's been around. He's the old man. He's been around 12 years. Tough to play the corner as your physical skills start to diminish.
Ball is at the 27-yard line, first down. The pitch goes to James Stewart. And he'll go out over the 30 to the 31. And we're going to go and visit with Greg Gumbel once again. So let's go off to New York.
All right, Jim, we'll take you off to St. Louis, where Jim Kelly has thrown his 3rd touchdown pass of the afternoon. This is a 6-yarder to Steve Tasker. Dean Biasucci has answered for the Rams with a 51-yard field goal in the 3rd quarter. The Bills lead at 28-16, Jim.
All right, thanks again, Greg. So now that has Buffalo still holding and nursing that 1-game lead over these Indianapolis Colts. Both contenders are winning today. Flares it out. Stewart. Oh, he didn't stay in bounds. He caught the ball and had plenty of room, but then when he looked down, he was right on the sideline. He would have easily had the first down, but now they'll have 3rd down.
Easily. He was very, very close to it, and that's presence of mind. And as you watch him on this replay, Brunell is under some pressure. You'll see the pressure come from the left side. He gets it over with some nice touch, something they want him to work on. And here, you know, Stewart, young guy, 1st year, doesn't have that presence of mind to know where that first down is.
So it's 3rd down and 3. 2:15 to go here in the quarter. Lachey Maston is the lone back in the backfield. 3 wide receivers in. Brunell, and it's caught by Cedric Tillman over by the Indianapolis bench with Ashley Ambrose on the coverage. It's a first down, though, to the 43. They're almost in that shades of like a 2-minute type of offense for them there.
Well, Tillman's a big target. He's 6'2", he's 220 pounds, and Ambrose is playing a little bit loose, and he actually slips before he comes back to try to cover. Tillman gave him too much room.
A lot of slips out on this field today.
I don't know why. It's a very good grass field. Players get so used to playing on that artificial turf. It's a different field, different traction.
Stewart on first down. Wickham stayed low and gets out near midfield as he was losing his footing. Jeff Harrod brings him down near midfield.
Jeff Harrod is an interesting story. Talking to him last night, I mean, what Harrod wants most is that playoff spot, that playoff shot. He's been around for 8 years, so he's been through some dismal times. He's just looking for the respect. And he went so far as to say to us, hey, please pronounce my name correctly. So many people across the country do not. They don't know anything. If we get in the playoffs, everyone will know I'm Harrod, not Herod.
2nd down. And he goes to his tight end, and it's caught. First down, as that will be Rich Griffith. We haven't seen Pete Mitchell. He left the game in the 3rd quarter after really getting belted by Jason Belzer. And you take Mitchell away from Brunell, you take a lot away, but he finds Griffith there for a first down.
Well, he's forced to go to his outside receivers, who are not the strength of this Jacksonville offense. But right now, Brunell is in that controlled passing game, and this is something that Coughlin wants him to do. Take the short pass that's there. Don't try to get it all downtown. Just take it right now. Read well.
Just 20 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Nice pocket for him. This is the Brunell they love here in Jacksonville. And he gets the first down of the 28. Biggest cheer of the day. That's what they come to see, the scrambling, and only a tight hamstring has limited him from doing that. At the end of the 3rd quarter, 27-10, Indianapolis in the lead. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. We are set to start quarter number 4 here in Jacksonville. Indianapolis leading 27-10. So far, so good. for the Colts, needing victories. 3 wins in a row, and they make it to the playoffs. Mark Brunell just ran for 13 yards on a scramble. But let's go back 3 weeks ago against the Tampa Bay Bucks. Brunell scrambled here for a touchdown. It strained his right hamstring and had to sit it out the rest of the way. That really took the life out of this Jacksonville offense for a period of time. He's been back in here today, his first start since that Tampa Bay game. And as you can see, 19 yards rushing. He would normally have a lot more rushes and a lot more yardage. He was the leading rusher on this team for a number of weeks.
For a number of weeks. You know you're in trouble when your quarterback's your leading rusher. But you saw, I don't know if you could see it against that Tampa Bay, that little bit of a burst. Here's a guy, Mark Brunell, who runs a 4.60, so has a burst. He's just not at full speed today.
He got 13 yards on that run at the end of the third quarter. That gets them a first down. He goes back to James Stewart, who gets the corner. He's inside the 5. He's to the 4-yard line, but there's a penalty flag back at the 27-yard line. Holding against Jacksonville, and this play is coming back.
You know, going into this game, James Stewart had only carried the ball 23 times in the last 5 games combined.
The offense, number 88, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Craig Keith, the tight end, on the corner, gets nailed with the holding penalty. He is without his headset, Tom Coughlin, because he saw the flag go down and raced halfway out onto the field. And now more bad news. Stewart, who's been good today, comes up a little gimpy on his left ankle.
Stewart has been spectacular today, and it's obvious that Stewart and Brunell are going to be the basis upon which this Jacksonville offense is built. You get the left tackle, Baselli, you fill in a little bit with the Mitchells, and you get a wide receiver. But Stewart today has carried the ball 19 times for 78 yards. I mentioned in 5 games previous, only 23 times, so he has been the workhorse.
All the way back now to the 38. It's 1st and 20. Brunell dumps it off. Lachey Maston breaks a tackle. And still fights inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. Good job by Lachey Maston.
Good job by Mark Brunell, who had Trev Alberts, number 51, in his face as he threw that ball.
If the Jaguars are good in any quarter, they are good in the 4th quarter. They've outscored their opponents 84-72 in 4th quarters this year.
Is that a little move by Maston? Hey, I'll juggle the ball. Maybe they'll confuse the defense. Fortunately for Jacksonville, got it back and made a good game.
14 yards. And it's 2nd down inside the 25-yard line. 2nd and 6. He throws it. Jimmy Smith almost had it incomplete. Now back to New York, and let's check in with Greg Gumbel.
All right, Jim, thank you. In Foxborough, Curtis Martin, a 9-yard touchdown run with just about 3 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. The Patriots and the Jets are now tied at 14. Jim and Doc, back to you.
Well, your old Jets.
Well, 14 all.
Locked in a tussle up there. 14 all.
Ooh, a titanic struggle up in Foxborough.
Inside the 25-yard line after the incompleted pass. Brunell to Smith. It's 3rd down and 6. Oh, here they come in an all-out blitz. They pick it up very well. Someone should be open, and indeed, Rich Griffith is. First down at the 16.
Griffith, normally the blocking tight end, 6'5", 260 pounds. Not a great pass receiver, but Pete Mitchell is out with that contusion and will not be back, so they have to go to Griffith. You know, it was interesting that time. A lot of defenses are coming with cornerback blitzes. Ray Buchanan was coming from the outside. If you watch the right of your screen, you'll see him coming, but he gets there late. And Maston actually gets a block, and that allows this to open up for Griffith.
First down with 13:11 left to go in the game. Inside the Indianapolis 20, Maston goes to the 15 and fights for a couple of tough yards. Remember, he's going to get the bulk of the ball carrying right now until James Stewart can get back in, and he's still being attended to over on the Jacksonville bench.
Maston is simply not Stewart. I mean, 6 feet, 230 pounds. He's big, he's strong. Coming into the day, he had a 5.5-yard average, but Stewart is really the impact player. The running back that will be around here for 5 to 7, 10 years. It's Stewart and Brunell. I mean, you take a guy in the number 1 pick You expect him to step up and do some things, and Stewart was just beginning to do that for Jacksonville.
Yeah, he was the first round draft choice right behind Baselli. And they were wondering a little bit about him, but now he's starting to show what they thought he would. Another all-out blitz. And Brunell steps up, fires, end zone. Willie Jackson! Touchdown! What a catch!
What a catch. Willie Jackson just coming back from ankle and leg injuries, first game back. He is Mark Brunell's favorite receiver after Pete Mitchell. This time, you've been saying all day that Brunell has been throwing high. This time, Jackson went up and got it on his fingertip. Beautiful catch.
Extra point to cut the Indianapolis lead down to 10 if Hollis can hit it. And we are at 27-17. The Jaguars are within 10 with 12-17 to go as Mark Brunell steps up and the former Florida Gator, Willie Jackson, catches it. We'll be right back.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by MasterCard. MasterCard, it's more than a credit card. It's smart money. By Sega Saturn, the next generation video game system. Reality has just been redefined. And by Bud Light. If you want great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Back here in Jacksonville, and after a beautiful touchdown pass from Mark Brunell and an exceptional catch by Willie Jackson on the back line of the end zone, Jacksonville is within 10 of Indianapolis, 27-17. They try an onside kick. There's a flag down. The ball is recovered immediately by the Colts. As getting down to cover it was Trevor Wilmot. He's going to hold on to the ball.
Right.
Wouldn't you? Very interesting. With 12-17 left.
Why not go for broke? You're 3-10. You can take those kinds of chances.
There was a flag down.
Offsides on the kicking team, number 38. That penalty is declined. The ball was recovered by the receivers. First down.
All right, let's go back to the last Jacksonville possession before the onside kick. Here's Mark Brunell.
He looks away. See him looking to the left side, and then he comes back. But there's confusion in the secondary for the Colts. Belzer is late from the middle. And you see number 33 there, Ashley Ambrose. He's just come into the game in the third quarter for Eugene Daniel. So he blew the coverage and allowed Willie Jackson to make that touchdown catch.
Incidentally, Daniel is not injured. Coach's decision to put Ambrose on the corner. Good field position now for Craig Erickson and the Colts. And Marshall Faulk took it up in the inside. Oh, look at that run. What a great run to the 38.
One defender once told me that trying to tackle Marshall Faulk is like trying to drink coffee with a fork. The guy is just everywhere at the same time. He appears as though he's going to be caught behind the line of scrimmage, but carrying the ball in the wrong hand, incidentally. Look at that balance. Puts his hand out. Now he's got it in the right hand away from the defenders. Picks up yardage where there is none.
And he got 4 yards. Second down and 6.
He's over 1,000 again.
Very good. Here's Potts in motion. The pitch goes to Faulk. Cuts it back into the arms of Mickey Washington and close to a first down. Near the 34-yard line. And of course, what he's doing right now is he's moving the sticks and he's moving the clock.
He's moving the clock, and he's also removing some of the pressure from the quarterback, Craig Erickson. And certainly Ted Marchibroda wants this man, Marshall Faulk, to do it on the ground, eat the clock, and not put that pressure on Erickson, who's rusty.
All right, he limps out. Lamont Warren will replace him. Faulk has 55 rushing yards with those legs. And they want those legs to be healthy the rest of the way. It's a first down at the Jacksonville 33. There's a blitz, and they throw across the middle, and it is caught down to the 25-yard line. Floyd Turner, second catch of the day for Turner, and the tackle made by Ernie Logan.
And with Marshall Faulk leaving the field, it just adds some pressure to Erickson to get it done. That time he responded to it with a nice throw over the middle, decisive. And they're checking Falk's left leg, it appears, on the sideline.
Now, Doc, when you played, if you got injured like that or limped off, you'd probably be over there asking for the trainer to come over. When Marshall Falk goes off like that, he has 7 guys around him. Second down.
When you have that valuable a property, it does attract a crowd.
Jaguar crowd trying to get the defense to come up with a stop here, but Lamont Warren in for Falk, pushes near a first down. Brian Schwartz, the middle linebacker, makes the tackle.
You wouldn't say they had a lot of depth at running back on this Colts team. Once Falk goes, there's a tremendous drop-off. Warren is a decent back, not real big at 5'11", about 209 pounds. I wouldn't be surprised to see them using Roosevelt Potts more often. A lot of the defensive coaches around the league talk about Potts as being a really quality player. Maybe a little overweight at 262. Maybe he should be 245, but still a good running back.
Warren got the first down, so it's 1st and 10. Indianapolis leading by 10, 27-17. Warren trapped on the right side and brought down. Good tackle. Don Davey, the left defensive end, got him.
Well, Jacksonville simply coming up to the line of scrimmage with the 8 men in the box. Hello, here we are. Try and run the ball. We're not going to allow you to do it. Erickson, by the way, you know, this is your chance of redemption. Maybe it won't be. We're going to force you to beat us.
They lost 2. And now 9 minutes to go for Ted Marchibroda and the Colts. This is their final road game of the regular season. They finish at home next week against San Diego and then against New England. 2nd down and 12. Everybody up on the line of scrimmage. Erickson dumps it out. Lamont Warren, if he can get by Harry Colin, he's gone, but Colin got him at the sideline and pushes him out at the 17.
Showing faith in Erickson, showing confidence in him. A little play action fake. The blitz was coming all out. Shows nice touch, flips it over the rushing defense to Warren for the first down. No, I'm sorry, it's 3rd down. Actually, third and about 4 or so. I thought Warren was going to get more going up the far sideline, but he couldn't shake the tackle.
Now they have a running type formation in here right now. They brought in another tight end. Bradford Banta comes in along with Ken Dilger. Potts is in the backfield with Warren. Falk left 3 plays ago, limping off. Erickson's going to throw for it. Dilger's open. Touchdown, Indianapolis. What a throw by Erickson to Ken Dilger.
Erickson shows the touch and the veteran leadership that Ted Marchibroda was looking for when he named him the starter today. Look at Marchibroda. He's delighted. Erickson's had such a tough year. This is such an important game. What he did, though, Jim, look at that. Everybody's happy for him. He's such a great guy and had such a miserable year. He waited until Dilger got open. He didn't rush it. Not much of a fake. He waits, and then he flips it high over the top. The only man that can catch it is Dilger.
Blanchard's extra point upcoming. 33-17 Indianapolis. Low snap. Nice job by Gardocki to get it upright. And the kick is good. 34-17 Indianapolis. Craig Erickson to Ken Dilger. Touchdown. We'll be right back.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and have Domino's delivered the ultimate deep dish pizza. Because when it's gotta be deep, it's gotta be Domino's.
All right, Tom Coughlin. He rolled the dice again as he decided with 12-17 left to go. In regulation time, his team down by 10 to try an onside kick. It was recovered by Indianapolis, Doc. It gave Craig Erickson a short field to work on, and he took him for a touchdown.
After this kickoff return, I want to talk about that.
Jimmy Smith. Beautiful return by Smith. Out to the 37-yard line. We'll be back to touch on that point.
Returns the kickoff.
As we check out if there was any flag. No flag on the kickoff return.
1st and 10.
And we'll be back to Jacksonville. This is the NFL on NBC. Jacksonville has made a lot of things happen this year on special teams. Certainly last week in Denver, it got them back into the game against the Broncos, and they tried to do it again here this afternoon.
They did gamble on the onside kick, and I think there's a couple of reasons they did that. First of all, the kick coverage was horrendous. Aaron Bailey ran one back 95 yards for a touchdown.
Wide open across the middle. Jackson, he's got it at the 31 of Indianapolis, and he is down there, way downfield, is Quentin Corey out to bring him down.
And I was also going to say he gambled because he had lost some of his offensive weapons in Pete Mitchell and James Stewart, but that time he's found another weapon in Jackson. What a beautiful throw. Take a look at it again. They're playing zone, the Colts are. Jackson with good speed goes down the left part of the zone, and the ball is delivered with velocity, so it doesn't allow reaction time. And Jackson makes the catch. First down, big game.
Yes, down to the 31 of Indianapolis. Down 17. Brunell needs a lot of big plays. James Stewart back into the lineup. To the 15. And Stewart has a first down for Jacksonville. Not good news from the Indianapolis bench right now. Marshall Faulk, his day is done. He has a contusion on his knee. He's wrapped. And remember, Harbaugh had the knee problem last week, and now Faulk has it here this afternoon.
A nice balance here. They come with the throw. You're down 34-17. You figure team's going to throw the ball, but that time a nice draw play. Stewart obviously okay, revived for his time on the bench, picks up some good yardage.
At the Indianapolis 15-yard line, Brunell has the Jaguars trying to get in again. Jimmy Smith went for the ball. There's the flag inside the 5-yard line. Ashley Ambrose is going to get flagged. Boy, Indianapolis getting hit with a lot of secondary penalties in the last couple of weeks.
They're working on that cornerback, the right cornerback. Eugene Daniel was a coach's decision taken out. Simply means
Pass interference on the defense, number 33. Spot foul and automatic first down.
that Daniel wasn't playing well, so Ambrose comes in his 4th year defensive back. That time he was there too early. The timing was off, bumped into the receiver, as you'll see, too early. He had terrific coverage. Watch. He's right there, but he's there too early and grabs the receiver before the ball gets out.
First and goal inside the 5 after the penalty on Ambrose. 6:26 to go in the 4th quarter. Indianapolis by 17. Brunell pumps it. Smith is open. Touchdown, Jaguars.
They're working on Ambrose. In for Daniel. A beautiful move by Jimmy Smith. He fakes inside, spins around, goes outside. Brunell takes his time, waits for it all to happen. He had good protection, and then just flips it out there.
I would rethink the coach's decision and maybe get Daniel back in.
Take a look at it. Watch the move inside. Not a great move inside, but Ambrose was guessing inside. Bid on the fake, and then a good throw to Brunell. Easy touchdown.
Now they're matching touchdowns. Hollis bangs through the extra point. And with 6:24 left, we are back to a 10-point ball game. And you're watching a good one, the NFL on NBC. Special teams coach Larry Pasquale. Does he have another onside kick cooked up right now? They've recovered 3 this season. They're 0 for 1 recovering them today.
Yes. He kicks it to the left side. They're all lined up over there. Take your shot.
Nope, it came up on a beautiful hop. And right into the waiting arms of the tight end Dilger. And that's a good guy to have on the Good Hands team.
And the Good Hands team, yes. The franchise, the rookie, number 2 pick out of Illinois. These things are horrendous to cover because you know you're going to be really smacked. He keeps his concentration, looks it right, and you see his hands, his eyes right down there, and then just crumbles to the ground. And, you know, he can cover the 6'5", 260. He can take those hits.
He just needed one more bounce.
Yeah.
That's what Pasquale needed there. Just one more crazy bounce. And he might have been able to get a Jaguar on top of that. So the ball is at the 38. And again, Erickson starts on a short field for Indianapolis without Marshall Faulk now the rest of the day. Out with a contusion on his knee, his left knee. Lamont Warren will carry and be stopped by Paul Fraze.
The point is well taken. Without Marshall Faulk, it forces Erickson to put the ball into the air sometime. And if you're Jacksonville, you're just going to come and say, hey, we're going to stuff the run, make you do it. But again, it's a short field, and that's the way it's been all day for the Colts. Started at their own 20, their own 3, their own 3, their own 35, and the Jags 44. So they haven't had to work for a lot of their scores. And plus, they got a 95-yard kickoff return opening kickoff by Baylor. So
Erickson will bring them up and drain everything he can on that play clock. Erickson hands the ball off. Potts is going to be hit in the backfield by the safety Harry Colin, who was coming on a blitz. And then Schwartz cleaned the play up. Now, they are using a defensive timeout, I believe, right now. And they would be down to 1. Brunel used 1 early, and now they have to use a defensive one to stop that clock, and they'll come up 3rd down and very long.
It's an interesting scenario. You need the 2 scores. I mean, obviously, there's all kinds of possibilities here. You get a touchdown, do you go for 2? You know, what do? Do you take a field goal if you get in close? So puts the pressure on Coughlin if they can get the ball back in reasonable time. They need the time. I approve of the calling of the timeout. You can't just let that clock disappear and then be pressured into trying to get 2 scores in a hurry. Get the ball back with some time left and then let your quarterback do some clock management.
All right, Doc, 3rd down and 10.
Yes.
Does he throw, or does he just hand the ball off?
3rd down and 10, 34-24, 5.5 minutes left. I think you have to show some confidence. You can't go into your shell. I think he throws a safe, high percentage pass, maybe a quick out to one of his to wide receivers, because they are bunched up. They are coming.
Everybody up on the line of scrimmage. Erickson steps away, going for Dawkins, who comes back and dives and catches the ball at the 10-yard line. His first catch of the day, and he came back to get it.
Mickey Washington is in that horrible position as a cornerback.
Sean Dawkins with Harry Colin pleading on the sideline for a flag. He's saying that Dawkins pushed off and actually pushed the defender down.
What Dawkins simply did is he's trying to get back inside. The defender was inside him, so he did force his way back inside. Tremendous pressure on Erickson, still gets the ball off and throws it way out over the top where you should. And then you see Dawkins get rid of the defender, and now it's Mickey Washington. Watch him here. Ball's inside. Washington doesn't see it. He has a right to do that, to get to the ball.
Lamont Warren right up the middle, inside the 5, down near the 2-yard line. And let's go back to that catch by Dawkins.
And this is a relatively safe throw because he's just throwing it out there. Mickey Washington, the cornerback, didn't see the ball, got tied up, and that allowed Dawkins to come back to make the catch. And that is a critical play in the game right there. Showing confidence in Erickson.
I'll tell you what, look at him in the huddle. He looks like a confident quarterback once again. I mean, he's fired up.
This is his opportunity. And you know what? This late in the season, he's gotten a chance to get to know the system. He feels more comfortable with it. He didn't early on.
2nd down inside the 5, near the 2. Erickson looking up at that play clock, and now he's going to call a timeout with 3:57 left. And they will have 1 remaining, not that they need any. Lindy Infante is the offensive coordinator. Lindy was has Jacksonville ties, coach of the Jacksonville Bulls. In fact, when we were down on the sideline, there was a nice sign that said, "Hey, welcome home, Lindy." You don't see that for coordinators normally. They don't get signs. Coming up next on most of these NBC stations, Game 2 of our NFL doubleheader. Set the stage for you. Most of you are going to see the great triple threat rookie out of Colorado, Cordell Stewart, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have already wrapped up the Central Division title. They'll take on Tim Brown and the Oakland Raiders, and Billy Joe Hobart at quarterback for the Raiders today, as Oakland continues the battle for a wild card spot. So check your local listings for the game in your area.
And how about O'Donnell and Thigpen are making like they're Bradshaw and Swan or Stallworth. I mean, they've had some year O'Donnell's come back after a rocky mid-part of the season.
2nd down after the timeout called for by Erickson and the Colts. They're in an I formation with Potts and Warren in the backfield. Lamont Warren on the right side. He's trying to push for a touchdown. No signal. He's short.
There's some benefit to that. In a way, you use some more clock. If you do get the score, and it just gives so little time for Jacksonville to come so far back. I mean, they'll be down 17 points if the Colts score here. That's almost insurmountable with 3 minutes left, a little over 3 minutes.
Erickson getting his offensive line in that huddle, trying to take charge in that huddle. Once you get them up to the line of scrimmage, you get the play done as Lindy Infante takes a look at the clock with him, and I think they have to use another timeout. Or do we have an injured Jaguar player? Is that what we're looking at? I believe that's what it is. Pritchett is injured on the out on the defensive line for Jacksonville, so the trainers were called out.
Seems to be walking okay, a little bit of it. You wonder if he got dinged and is a little woozy. Of course,
Kelvin came over here from Detroit and now looks at the Lions, who have gotten hot once again, as they always do around Thanksgiving. And, you know, some people will say, and in fact, we said to him yesterday, what about the decision to come here to Jacksonville? Because you could be looking at a playoff team up in Detroit.
He said it was time, and certainly the financial considerations were there. And but he still talks to some of his buddies back there, Porsche and company, and he sees them making that push now. Seems to happen after Thanksgiving, as you were saying. Huh?
Third down, the ball is at the 1. Erickson turns, Lamont Warren will cruise into the end zone for a touchdown. And that should put this one away for Indianapolis. It is 40-24.
And of course, so much on the line for Ted Marchibroda. They haven't been to the playoffs since '87, and if they run the table, they win today, then they beat San Diego at home, and then the Patriots at home. They're guaranteed a playoff spot no matter what Buffalo does. And who knows with Buffalo.
And the best news today is that they didn't have to use Jim Harbaugh after arthroscopic knee surgery on Monday and an amazing comeback to deem himself ready to be used today if he needed to be used. The kick is good. It's 41-24, Indianapolis in the lead, and it will give Harbaugh some time, as Erickson has done the job here today that Ted Marchibroda needed him to do.
And you get a sense Jacksonville's wearing down. You get a good surge in the right-hand side, and then Roosevelt Potts, 260 pounds, leads the way. That allows Warren to just go in untouched.
Now the concern, I'm sure, is congratulations for those big guys up front that do it for Erickson and the Marshall Falks and the Lamont Warrens. But the big concern now, I'm sure, the attention will shift from Harbaugh and over to Marshall Falk. And how will he be this week, as he injured his left knee? But he's up now. He has an ice bag, I believe, is on that knee. He had 54 yards today. He needed 43 to go over 1,000. He had 53 yards last week against Carolina, so the yards have been tough to come by for him. In fact, he's only had one 100-yard game this season. So Ted Marchibroda over checking on him right now. Are you going to be set for the Chargers, Marshall?
I would be, yeah. The Chargers, of course, yesterday kept their playoff hopes alive by beating Arizona. So Chargers are now 7-7 and very much in it. That is one tough game. The good thing for the Colts, though, is it's at home, and they feel they can beat anyone in their home.
On the kickoff return, they're going to try that throwback once again. No, they fake it. Willie Jackson doesn't want to go down to the 23-yard line, covered up by Wilmot. Well, the Colts trying to get to the playoffs. Let's go back in time. The last time the Colts made it to the playoffs, the year was 1987, facing the Cleveland Browns. The Colts kept it close. A 19-yard pass play from Jack Trudeau to Eric Dickerson tied the score 14-14 at the half. But then Bernie Kosar and the Browns scored 17 unanswered points in the second half. And Cleveland advanced, beating the Colts 38-21. The head coach was Ron Meyer. Now Ted Marchibroda trying to get Indianapolis back into the playoffs.
It would be something. I mean, and also while we have a moment after this play, we'll watch this play right now. Completion right there.
Willie Jackson to the 31.
Is that we want to send our best wishes to Bob Irsay, who is in his hospital room in St. Vincent's Hospital in Indianapolis. I'm sure this is bringing him some joy, and we hope that he has a full recovery from that stroke he suffered 10 days ago. I know Jim Irsay is with him there, and we wish you the best.
Brunel back. Rich Griffith in traffic as Ray Buchanan comes in there to separate Griffith from the ball. And it will be third down.
But you know,
Ray Buchanan, Doctor, very confident sort. Didn't look like he was nervous at all. Doesn't look like he's nervous right now. Of course, he shouldn't be. They're up by 17 points. But he was different from Jeff Herrod. As they two were sitting with us, Herrod kept saying, see, this guy over here, he doesn't realize what it means that we haven't been in the playoffs for so long. This guy doesn't know what it's all about yet.
Well, no, he's a youngster. He's actually a youngster who's moved from safety to corner, and he hasn't been around but 3 years. So he'll get spoiled if they get to the playoffs so quickly.
He'll learn to appreciate it, though. Brunell on third down. Down the middle, nice throw. Griffith catches down to the Indianapolis 45-yard line, and there is no quit in Mark Brunell.
A beautiful throw by Brunell.
2 minutes left to go. Actually, a minute 59 remaining in regulation time, and we'll be right back to Jacksonville. Indianapolis is going to win their 8th game of the year. They'll go to 8-6 as they're well in control. But the story right now is number 28, Marshall Falk. We go back fourth quarter, trying to run out the clock here and put this one away. Falk runs and sweeps left and injures his left knee. A contusion on the left knee, left the game and did not come back, and has not returned and will not return. Not a good sight this late in the year.
Not a good sight, and they put ice on his knees, sitting on the sidelines, and especially when you consider that Marshall Falk is close to 40% of the Colts offense. They can ill afford to lose him, especially with Harbaugh still out with a knee, although he'll be back next week.
They have San Diego next week, and what is a crucial game for both of those teams. Mark Brunell, near sideline, and Willie Jackson, and the bench is yelling to him, get out of bounds, and he will. The coaching staff is racing out to Jackson and waving him off to the sideline.
You mentioned next week it's San Diego. Yes, San Diego very much in it. And interesting, Junior Seau was talking about, well, you know, we have a little of that strut back in our step, you know, a little of that panache that they had last year when they were a Super Bowl team. And then Indy after San Diego has New England. But Buffalo's not a lock either. I mean, they're winning in St. Louis, but then they have Miami and Houston. So Indianapolis could actually win the division if Buffalo stumbles.
Brunell, catch made by Rich Griffith, and he's out of bounds and will kill the clock at the 24-yard line. That will be a first down with a minute 48 left. It's been a long afternoon for Ted Marchibroda. I mean, just trying to get this one put away. Indianapolis 7-6. They're going to go to 8-6 with the win today, and that's what they have left.
And remember, as they race, both at home, which is critical, but also remember they have an edge against Miami, who they've beaten twice. So any tiebreakers, any situation there will be Indianapolis.
But not against Buffalo. They lost twice to the Bills. First down, Jacksonville. Brunell's going to throw that one out of bounds and throw it away. The AFC playoff picture now, with Buffalo winning, and so we're going to make them 9-5, and Indianapolis is going to make them 8-6. That's the way it looks right now. Starting the day, Indianapolis would have been in had the playoffs started today, and they've done nothing to hurt their chances.
How about these other games, though? Yes. Oakland, Pittsburgh. What a tough game that is. I believe it's on NBC. Coming up next.
That's right. And, of course, Miami has a tough one coming up, too.
Miami playing Kansas City. A very tough game on Monday night for them. So Indianapolis in good position.
Brunell hit as he throws, but got it there for Jay Smith. And Smith now has 6 catches on the day as he brings it down to the 16-yard line.
Can Oakland beat Pittsburgh with their third quarterback? I mean, we're talking about Billy Joe Holbert. Evans is gone, and he played last week. And I can see, you know, Lloyd and Green salivating at their linebacker position, waiting to get a piece of Billy Joe.
Third down and short. Brunell runs out to create some more time and sidearms it there for a catch by Cedric Tillman. This guy Brunell is great. If he was 100%, you'd even be seeing more of a show. It's going to be first and goal at the 7. Now back to your point, I have to wonder about the posture of Pittsburgh. I mean, they're in. They've won the Central Division. Of course, they want that bye in the opening round and everything like that, so they don't want to be playing in that first weekend.
Heck yeah, they do have some motivation, and I have to believe Pittsburgh is going to go out and play, especially, you know, rivalry that has been so intense for so many years.
A minute 9 left here in this ball game. First and goal at the 7. Brunell, all kinds of time, fires for another touchdown, and Willie Jackson does it again on the back line of the end zone with a minute 5 left.
All I want to say about Jacksonville and Tom Coughlin is they've acquitted themselves very well the entire season. Coming into today, this expansion team, even though they're 3-10, soon to be 3-11, they were in 10 of the 12 games they played, and they won 3 of those. So, you know, what looks like to be a dismal season is really a building point, and for them to stay in this game and not quit is a huge character comment on this team and their coach.
Hollis out of the hold of Barker. It's good. 41-31. And it's a 10-point lead for Indianapolis for yet another time here in the second half.
You know, Brunell has it all. He has arm strength, he has presence, he has mobility. He is going to be a quarterback who's going to be a factor for many, many years in this league. And when you talk to Coughlin, you see his eyes smiling, his face light up when he talks about Brunell, because he knows how good he is right now. He's improved dramatically from the beginning of the year, but how good he can potentially be when he gets a supporting cast.
Well, they worked the deal with Green Bay just before the draft when it looked like Philadelphia had Brunell and ready to make the deal, but they couldn't come to terms with him. And instead, they went Jacksonville's way. Now, coming up next on most of these stations, it will be Pittsburgh quarterback Neil O'Donnell and the AFC Central Division champ Steelers taking on the Raiders. The stingy steel curtain defense led by Greg Lloyd and that man Kevin Green. They try and stop those Raiders, but Oakland is out to prove it's playoff worthy with the wild card race heating up. Tim Brown and the Raiders are fighting for a postseason invitation next on NBC.
They're fighting for their lives, and here we go with another onside kick from the looks of it.
Downfield, Dave Thomas tried to cut in front and make the grab on the special teams play, but instead the receiver out of Ohio State, Brian Stabeline, is there to grab it.
And you talk about the Steelers' motivation in that game coming up here on NBC, and you know, you read all these possible scenarios and the tie-breaking and all. It's simply this: the Steelers can earn a first-round bye with a victory at Oakland, but they can't get it today because it would have required also a Buffalo loss. That's not happening. Miami plays on Monday night against Kansas City, and Indianapolis would have had to lose today, and obviously they're not. So Pittsburgh has motivation. They still have to wait another week, but they need that victory against the Raiders next.
Erickson will drop down to a knee, and Jacksonville will immediately go to their final timeout of the afternoon.
You know, you say to yourself, what does Jacksonville need to continue building? And I think they're doing it differently than Carolina. Carolina said, hey, we're going to win now. We're going to get some veterans. Tom Coughlin has said, no, we're going to do it from the ground up. We're going to get some good talent like Vaselli, Brunell. But they really have some serious needs, Jim, and you can see them yourself.
Well, let's go to the draft. Let's take a look at some of the blue chip picks out there, as we say. There's the guy who could really light it up for them, Keyshawn Johnson, the wide receiver out of Southern Cal. If Terry Glenn decides to come out of Ohio State, he's got speed that has been unseen in this league for a long time. He could bring that to the table, but that's a decision that will come down the road. Then they could go defense with a guy like Simeon Rice.
Simeon Rice, and they certainly need both. If I'm Coughlin, I take all those guys.
Yeah, right? Keep trading for picks, huh?
As though they're going to be available. You know, Simeon, they need a pass rusher. They have absolutely no pass rush. You can't win in the NFL without a pass rush. But they also need some great game-breaking speed on the outside. And I saw Keyshawn Johnson, USC. He is a big-time receiver, a great target, can run after he catches the ball, has, you know, can go downfield and catch it. He would be my choice.
Well, and I think that would be Mark Brunell's choice, too, because he said he was talking to Rob Johnson, the rookie quarterback with the Jaguars out of SC. And he said that guy is really something to throw to. Okay, on the Indianapolis sideline, Ted Marchibroda has done it today. I mean, I think that they were concerned about this game with all of the factors coming in, but Craig Erickson stepped to the plate today, took over for Jim Harbaugh, and gets the game ball right there for Tom Coughlin. 6th loss in a row, but what a battle they waged. 41-31 is going to be your final here this afternoon. Erickson does a great job today. Indianapolis wins it 41-31 over Jacksonville. Coming up next, game 2 of our doubleheader. Most of you will see the Steelers take on the Raiders. For John Dockery, I'm Jim Donovan saying so long from Jacksonville, Florida.